This is a metaphor for your business's journey. Sometimes it feels like the course keeps changing right before your eyes. Whoa! And in order to maneuver it, you need an expert by your side. That's what Dell Technologies advisors do. They have the tech solutions you need to help you get out in front and stay ahead of the game. Whew. For advice on solutions like XPS 13 laptops powered by Intel Evo platform, call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL.
I hired Nuptial Num-Nums to cater my wedding, and it was a disaster. Everyone was raving about the food instead of my dress.
No matter how hard you work for your small business, online reviewers will find something to complain about.
They're like, oh, Veronica, the lamb chops. Did the lamb chops fly you out to Cancun?
And while Progressive can't save you from these trolls, we can help you save money on commercial, auto, and business insurance.
I will not be hiring them for my next wedding.
Get a quote online today at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliated and third-party insurers.
Air Comfort Service heating and cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's the first full day of summer. Not going to feel like it thanks to a cool front that moved through last night. Periods of rain. There might be a rumble of thunder, a flash of lightning, but that's kind of hard to find. It's a cooler day. 75 for the high. The heat wave is over. Tonight, partly cloudy, a beautiful evening. Cool overnight. 54 for the low. Tuesday, sunny and nice. 79, 80. Low humidity. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
If it's happening here.
It's a request to use my song, Another Brick in the Wall 2, to promote Instagram. Huge amount of money. And the answer is f*** you.
In the world, the country, and the community.
They want to use it to make Facebook and Instagram even bigger and more powerful so that it can continue to censor all of us in this room.
97.1 FM Talk.
Presented by Indeed. If you're hiring this summer, you need Indeed. With Indeed Instant Match, just post a sponsored job, and you'll immediately get a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed fit your job description. Learn more at Indeed.com/credit.
Big news. She said yes. My girlfriend loved the ring so much, she started to cry. I gotta hand it to Shane Company. They made it easy for me to create the perfect engagement ring. I knew my girlfriend wanted a halo ring, so when I met with a jewelry consultant, we started with that and my budget. He showed me ring settings in my price range. I felt no pressure to buy. For the Cinderstone, we looked at diamonds first. Then he showed me their beautiful sapphires, an option I hadn't even considered. And what a selection. They had over a dozen colors to choose from. He said that Tom Shane hand selects their sapphires in Bangkok. I ended up choosing a blue sapphire. I hadn't planned on that, but once I saw how the diamond halo framed the sapphire, I knew it was perfect for her. She's really one of a kind. And well, that's what I love about her. And we're still getting lots of compliments on the ring.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business, Shane Company. Open weekdays till 8, Saturday and Sunday till 5, and online at shaneco.com.
Edwards Carpet's Independence Day sale. Great deals on all types of flooring. Sale ends at 5 o'clock, July 4th. Hurry into any of our 4 convenient locations for the best selection and price.
Come on down to Edwards Carpet Stores.
The Med Spa at the Institute of Natural Health understands how difficult it is to maintain healthy skin and how much this can affect someone's life. With the right combination of treatments and products, they can help you keep your skin looking healthy and more youthful, while also reducing and preventing damage. Take your first step towards healthy skin at the Med Spa at the Institute of Natural Health. Visit them at inhstl.com or call to schedule at 314-293-8123. That's 314-293-8123.
When you see your neighbor's home sell in days and interest rates at historic lows, why would you ever pay more than 4? I'm Christina Straight with Straight Realty. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. I hear from people all the time saying they want to sell their home, but they're nervous about being able to find a home in this crazy market. If that's you, then let's talk, and together we can build a plan. I'm Christina Straight with Straight Realty. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
Odyssey is your new home for all the audio that matters to you. Anytime, anywhere. Download the Odyssey app today to listen to 97.1 FM Talk wherever you go. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Hey, y'all, it's the Annie Frey Show. Welcome aboard. My name is John Hancock. I'm going to be your cruise director for the next 3 days here, filling in for Annie, the recent mother. And joining me, of course, Katie Fitzpatrick. Katie, how are you?
Hello. Thank you so much for coming in with us today, John.
It's my
I'm excited.
absolute pleasure. Ryan Wiggins is over there for a little bit. He's got a big day coming up. We're going to talk about that. What's cooking, Ryan?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm wearing a visor today.
It's
that's
all about the visor.
But
Katie keeps making fun of me. I haven't been here for that long, and she's gotten about 4 or 5 shots in me already.
Wow.
At just wearing a visor. So if you're
it's a fine looking visor.
If you're on the webcam, you can see
the visor.
Beautiful visor. But I'm wearing a Cardinal shirt also.
Also lovely.
Because I get to go down to the ballpark today, and I don't know, like hit balls that a real major league pitcher is going to throw to me, which means I won't hit any unless he's just sort of lobbing them.
Well,
I don't know. I'm doing something at the ballpark today.
If it's most of the Cardinal bullpen pitchers, you'll probably get some hits.
And I'll get more hits than the actual players are.
There's no doubt about that.
Double
So I'm
dig.
driving down here today. This is my first. I started off on 97.1 18 years ago, filling in for Charles Jaco.
Wow.
And if you think I'm bad now, you should have heard me 18 years ago. So I'm driving down here today. People are crazy. I mean, people are absolutely crazy. So apparently, I have a blind spot on my driver's side. And apparently, I cut somebody off changing lanes.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, he was not very pleased and started wildly gesticulating in my rearview mirror. And yeah, he was not happy. And then he whips around and then he cuts me off. And then he slows down, and I'm thinking, buddy, I'm sorry, a bad moment, nothing, nobody get killed here. But people on the roads, I don't know what's the matter with people. I mean, it's horrible. And it seems to me like it's getting worse. And there is absolutely no police on the side of the roads. And when you're
Did this
driving
happen
down
in the city? Sort of?
Yeah, ish. Yeah. I'm right around that where with Skinker area.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
knowing in the back of your head anyway that there's less police out there. And again, I don't know if that would actually be true in a situation like this, but it's kind of like in the back of your head that maybe there's not as much police support right now because of politics. Are you the kind of person who, when that happens and somebody like it's really mad at you, do you back off because you're like, whoa, I'm not going to get an altercation
yeah,
here?
no, the last thing on my list of things that I wanted to do today, getting shot is not on that list.
Yes, correct.
And you don't know this wildly, the guy apparently thought I was number one because he kept, and so, but he was not happy, and he was letting me know. He rolled the window down when he passed me and hollering out the window, and just continued calling me number one there. And so yeah,
it was really that upset. See, I
mean, I cut him off. I get it.
Yeah, but that happens. You're on a highway.
Did you give him a wave? Like, hey, I know I did.
Oh
it.
yeah. He was waving back.
Care.
He was waving back. So
he was waving something back.
Yeah. So I don't know. But yes, to answer your question, I'm not going to engage somebody that's in that state of mind.
See,
you don't know.
I've gotten better as I've gotten older, but man, I don't know if I'm just competitive, which is going to be great because I'm going to play Cardinal baseball today. But there are times that even if my wife was in the car, kids, that's what's changed it. Yes. Having kids has changed it because I remember times driving with my wife where somebody would do, it's usually if somebody does something to me. If I do something that I know I'm in the wrong, hey, sorry about that. I'll wave at you. Hopefully, you know that I'm apologizing in some way. But if somebody does something and then they get mad at me,
yeah, right.
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
I lose it. And I've gotten into like streetcar, Like
Drag
I'm going to
racing.
tailgate you to let you know that you're wrong.
Are you kidding?
No,
what
I'm
kind
not.
What kind of car do you drive?
Well, at the time, I was driving a green Ford Taurus.
That wasn't you
so
today
not
on
terribly-
Highway 840. Was it?
It wasn't
No.
Wiggins today.
No, I mean, no, I'm not like flipping people off. But what angers me is like the injustice of it. If
Yeah.
somebody does something
They're
to
wrong,
you,
and they're mad at you.
yeah, and then they get mad at
It's
you.
like
And you're
being
like,
married.
wait a minute, what the heck? Yeah, and then I remember in this particular instance, we were coming back from a vacation in somewhere in Missouri, and we were driving east on 64, and my wife was in the car, and she was like, Ryan, you have got to calm down.
Gotta chill out.
And I was like, you don't get it. You don't get that this person's in the wrong. And she's like, I'm fully aware that this person's in the wrong.
So I'm such a bad driver, and I hate to admit that I get lost. I don't know east west. No, I mean I'm just terrible. I had a client in town, and we had 3 meetings. I got lost in between each meeting in St. Louis with my client who had great confidence. So, how about you, Katie? Good driver?
I am a decent driver. I think my husband would say I'm a really bad driver. But to me, my own prerogative, I think I'm pretty decent. And I hardly ever get upset on the road. There are a couple
Good for
things.
you.
There are a couple things that make me upset that I'm like, like that's like the stereotypical, like, what? But I have never engaged in any kind of back and forth or argument with anyone. And I believe you mentioned waving. That kind of etiquette is totally gone now.
Yeah.
Nobody waves at each other anymore. Like a friendly, like, oh, you let me in. Here's a little wave for you. Thank you. I do that all the time.
I do it too.
I want that to live on. I think
Yeah.
that is such a nice gesture and a polite thing that doesn't happen often enough on the road.
Yeah, and now you've got these people driving 90, 100 miles down the interstate. Just whipping in and out of traffic. You know, it's dangerous out there.
70. I take 70.
I'm gonna get
Ooh.
I'm gonna get
Everybody
one of those.
knows 70.
I'm gonna get one of those permit drivers for my rear. window,
Yes.
I think just because I am a really bad driver, and people
Treat me nice.
maybe you'll give the old guy a break out there.
Are you guys bent like so? We come into the city, and if you're not in the city much, this
Farmer
probably won't
driver.
apply to you as much. But because you know there's not as much police presence, are you bending the rules at all more? Like, are you willing to kind of like fudge a red light here and there more?
I may or may not.
You can't admit it on the radio.
I cannot disclose.
I will tell you what I
temptation's
do
there.
for sure. If I'm ever working a late shift here downtown, like election night, sometimes we'll be here till 1 a.m. or something,
Mhm.
and you're leaving the building at 1 a.m. here. There are no red lights as far as I'm concerned.
No, I hear you.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I'm asking.
Yeah.
I have yet to do anything like that. And I don't know why, but every time I'm downtown, there is always a cop near. And thank God for it. I'm happy for that. But especially when it comes to traffic, there is always a police officer somewhere that if I were to run that red or if I didn't make a complete stop, I know my butt would be grass. I know
I've
something
heard
would
that,
happen to me.
because we've talked about this before, that when you have less police and crime sort of goes up, the police have to focus on bigger crime.
Yep.
So they're not focusing on people running red lights as much anymore, which is why I asked the question, if it's in the back of your mind, like, well, and you and I have talked about it off air, that there's just so many more homeless people around.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if that's
Yeah.
seasonal, like it's summer, you know, like
Mhm.
people in the winter, you're not going to be out on the streets as much, but it just seems to me like so much more now that it's not just that there's a lot more homeless people out, that they're, I don't want to say more aggressive,
They're
but they're certainly
daring.
more daring.
Yeah.
Like they're not being aggressive with me. And maybe it's because I'm a, almost 40-year-old guy and I don't look like, maybe I have a gun, like don't come near me. But it does make you kind of like not want to stop at the lights as much, because there's just that uncomfortable feeling too of somebody staring at you holding a sign. You're like, man, I'm not going to.
And they're coming up to the car.
Right.
They're coming
yeah.
up to the car.
Yeah.
And that happens to me so much more because I'm taking 70 to get to work. So my way into the city, it is like,
Down Tucker.
And it's so sad because, there's nothing that you can really do. You don't know what to do. But there are many homeless people coming up to my car, knocking on the window or stopping in front of me to give me a wave or, give me a signal of like, I need this or I need that. And I'm like, lock the doors, just keep on doing your thing, just keep going. Because that didn't happen to me often.
Yeah.
That didn't happen to me often.
Well, we're gonna talk about crime later this hour. I've got some very strong opinions about what's happening in the city of St. Louis, and it's not good. But that's not as happy of a note as what our good friend Wiggins is about to do here. So you win this contest.
Yes.
What was it?
It was my name in a fishbowl at some company function we had a couple weeks ago that you just see the piece of paper and you're like, well, I write my name on that piece of paper because there's a fishbowl next
Never
to
won
it.
anything in my life, not even an election.
That's because you're not looking for the fishbowl. You got to find the fishbowl and then find a scrap of paper. And then I usually don't win either. I mean, the odds are always against you, but I guess they grabbed my name out of this one, and I get to go down to the ballpark today. So I'll be kind of like in and out. I'm here with you now.
Right.
I'm gonna be out in a second, but I'll be
on
calling
the field
in.
at Busch Stadium.
I'll be calling in from the field. I don't know, just for fun, just to I
want to know what's going
check
on.
in and let you know what it's like, and who I'm talking to, because I don't know. There's going to be at least some players or former players there, but I don't know who.
Do some interviews, man.
Hey, if I can, I will. I'll get them on the phone
interviews.
and we'll call in and be like,
You got a
look,
second?
here's what Pedro Guerrero thinks about the filibuster.
Maybe you can get some hitting tips from Paul. So you don't really know what this is, though. You might see live pitching. You might see a big league pitcher. It might be whatever.
Yeah, or it might be. I'm told that there are at least some former players there, or
current
players would be great. If I don't know if that actually can happen or not. I don't know if they're on the road or whatever right now.
No, they're back.
Are they?
Yeah.
So maybe that can happen. But I'm headed down there. So I talk about Andrea's Restaurant a lot in my commercials. So my friend Max from Andrea's Restaurant is joining me down there.
How about that sauce?
Very cool.
Yeah. So he's waiting for me in the parking lot right now.
Hi, Max.
And we're gonna head down there in just a minute. And honestly, we don't know what to expect, and so that's why we're going to call in and just kind of have some fun today.
Even being on the field,
how cool,
that is so cool. You and I talked about this. That is such an amazing feeling to just be there and to just look at the stadium from that perspective.
There is something special about growing up in St. Louis that I hope, if you're listening to this, like without me even saying what that is, that when you go to a ball game, like there's something just neat about being either close to, or if you've ever gotten to experience like being on the field, like your kid got to do one of the national anthem things or walk around the edge, but this is a little bit different. This is why I'm excited more than anything, that I've never gotten to be like, I've gotten on to like where the edge of the field.
Yeah, right.
And but the groundskeepers, like they keep you
off the grass. Keep off the grass.
Yeah, they keep you kind of cattled in.
Yeah.
And in this, they don't. Like, you get to run around and just sort of like,
cool.
I'm just going to run around and just start tearing up grass.
And go in the dugout.
Like, what do you think of that?
Oh,
That's
man.
what you get for letting me win the fishbowl prize.
This would be a dream come true for me. About the third swing, though, they'd be calling 911.
But I'm a little nervous on that.
So I'm excited for you, buddy. I think it's going to be a memory that you'll never forget. And I want you to really focus, concentrate on that ball, and just rip a nice strong single. Are you right-handed or left-handed batter?
I am a left-handed batter.
But
I throw right-handed.
So is that right?
Yeah.
Huh.
Crazy.
There's a few ball players in history that have had that exact same circumstance.
Okay.
And maybe Ryan Wiggins will be the next.
I mean, that's what we're hoping, is that there's a talent scout out there today and they go, wait a
this
minute.
is tryouts.
I know
actually,
you're
for
almost
you.
40, but I think you got a little juice left in the tank, buddy.
Well, look at the pool holes. I mean, he's 41 and look what he's doing.
Well,
so if he can
signed
do
that
it, so can you.
a little earlier and had achieved more than me at that time.
Well, that's Ryan Wiggins. He's going to be at the ballpark. He's going to check in with us later. He's going to have a very exciting afternoon. Unfortunately, he won't be here with us, but we will hear from him later. We got a big show today, thanks to Katie. She's put it all together. Zach Smith, who's from the Heritage Foundation, going to talk about the Supreme Court. Some interesting rulings last week in the 6-3 supposed conservative court may not quite be delivering everything we had hoped for or expected. We're going to talk crime. Stephen Moore is going to join us. The threat of inflation is real. It's a tax increase brought to us from President Joe Biden and his cohorts in Congress. Senator Jason Plummer from Illinois is going to join us. A big, big day right here on the Annie Frey Show. I'm John Hancock. Delighted to be with you. We'll be back after this on 97.1.
Don't want to hear about it. Every single one's got a story to tell.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
I'm Eric Robert with Stifel. The economy is always changing, but what does it mean for your investments? Join me and fellow Stifel financial advisor Bob Stockdale during On the Money, Saturday mornings from 11 until noon on 97.1 FM Talk. Stifel, member NYSE and SIPC.
Hi, this is Tracy, president of Acropolis Technology Group. I want to start by recognizing our team's exceptional hard work during this pandemic, and apparently our clients recognize it as well. We were just honored by not winning one Best in Business award, but 4 Best in Business awards. We won Best IT Firm, Best in Cybersecurity, Best in Customer Service, and Best in Value. These 4 awards are a culmination of our team's hard work every single day, all done during the most challenging year we've had in our 24-year history. What these 4 awards tell me is that we are recognized for being experts at our craft. We do it in a friendly way, and our clients see value from partnering with us. I can't think of 4 better awards that summarize what it is we do for our clients each and every week. Acropolis has been helping some of the region's best companies protect, optimize, and grow their businesses now for many years. We have done it for them, and we can help you too. To find out more, give us a call or visit us at acropolistech.com. That's Acropolis, TECH.com. Acropolis. It's a better way to manage IT.
Yes, it's air conditioning season. If there is such a thing in St. Louis, of course, that heat and humidity, that comes at you fast, doesn't it? Air Comfort Service is ready to help you out with any of your HVAC needs at 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091. It's summer, the pools are open, school's out, and it is officially time to make sure your air conditioner is going to keep you in your comfort zone during all of these hot days. Are you worried it's not going to make it through the summer? Well, call Air Comfort Service and find out how they can help you in a budget-friendly way. Make sure that you will stay in your comfort zone. 314-513-0091. Right now, you can get up to 72 months, 0% financing. This is a great way to get your system up to speed and to make sure that it's working for you without having to break the bank. You can get into your comfort zone with utility rebates and up to 72 months, 0% financing on a new air conditioner HVAC system from Air Comfort Service. One more time, 314-513-0091. You can visit them online at aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis, I'm Ed Jones, and I'm ready to get back to the track for the 5th annual Bommarito Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway. All the cars and stars of IndyCar will be here to battle it out at 200 miles per hour. That's August 20th and 21st when NTT IndyCar returns to St. Louis. The Bommarito Automotive Group 500, details and exclusive ticket offers at bommarito.com, and I'll see you at the track.
In selling a home, luxury is not a price point. It's an experience. And with Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty, everyone gets the same marketing that sells more homes over $400,000 in the St. Louis area than any other team. Would you like to sell your home, but you're worried about finding your next home? Well, the Gelmans have a program to buy your new home before you even list your current home. Currently, we know there's not a lot of houses on the market, so houses are selling fast. A lot of times, tens of thousands over a list. Here's a success story. Scott and Sue relocating out of state. They needed a quick sale of their beautiful home in Chesterfield in the Stonebriar Wild Horse Meadows subdivision. In Mark and Neil's Coming Soon phase, their $600,000 home sold for over the list price. That expedited Scott and Sue's move out of state. Just one great example. Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty can absolutely help you. Ask them about their buy before you sell program. Check them out today at thegelmanteam.com or call 314-336-1991. The Gelman Team at thegelmanteam.com. Certain restrictions apply.
More people than ever are discovering what you already know. 97.1 FM Talk is the place for ideas. A place where free speech is the rule, not the exception. 97.1 FM Talk.
Those fingers in my hair.
You gotta love a little Frey.
That's
excellent work, Kitty. Excellent work.
Thank you.
Supreme Court, a couple of big rulings last week, and some folks in the conservative legal circles were a little bit surprised. We started with the Affordable Care Act, where on a 7-2 vote, they basically said that the case did not have standing to even be heard in the Supreme Court. So I wanted to get some expert opinion, and we found just the man. Zach Smith, he's a legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation, and he joins us right now on our, do we have a guest line sponsor?
We do not.
Oh, we do not have a guest line sponsor on 97.1. Well, perhaps we can fix that. Anyway, Zach Smith, welcome aboard. How are you, partner?
I'm doing okay. Thank you so much for having me on.
So, so much trial and tribulation to get Justice Kavanaugh and Justice Amy Coney Barrett confirmed in the United States Senate. So many alarm sounds from the left that this was going to be the end of civilization as we know it, and the court's going to become this radical element. We're not seeing that right now.
No, we're absolutely not seeing that. During Amy Coney Barrett's confirmation hearings, we heard that her confirmation would all but guarantee the end to Obamacare, the end to, abortion rights for women as they know it. And so far, that has not played out. From a practical political point, I think that's good for conservatives because it showed that a lot of what was said and what was happening during the confirmation was just, attempts to inflame their base on the Democratic side. On a slightly more hesitant note for conservatives, we've been seeing good results coming out of the court for the most part over the past several weeks. But unfortunately, some of those decisions, including the Obamacare decision, including the Fulton v. City of Philadelphia decision, which involved the free exercise rights of Catholic social services, those didn't go quite as far as I would have liked them to have gone, and I'm sure as many other conservatives would have liked it as well. So, look, bottom line, we're in a much better place than if we did not have Justices Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Barrett on the court. But we haven't seen quite the ribrock conservative decisions that I think many of us would like to have seen.
Yeah, Sam Alito's been a rock star on all of these decisions.
100%.
He's really kind of taken that. You don't want to compare him to Scalia, but the kind of Scalia type, and his opinions are entertaining to read as well. He's really been a rock star.
100%. Justice Clarence Thomas gets a lot of praise, and rightly so. But I think, for my money, the most underappreciated justice on the court right now is Justice Alito. He has been absolutely solid and, in my view, correct on many of the religious liberty cases that have come before the court. He was correct in many of the COVID-related cases that have come before the court this past year. And for anyone that has not read his concurrence in the Fulton v. City of Philadelphia case, I encourage you, go read it. It's lengthy. It's a heavy reading. It's not light reading material, but he does a great job explaining his views. He does a great job laying out why he thinks the majority in that case did not go far enough. And at the end of the day, I'm hopeful when the court, inevitably revisits this issue again in the future, that the justices at that time will realize that Sam Alito was right on the money in his concurrence.
Yeah, he's the real deal. Zach Smith is our guest. He's a legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation, expert on the Supreme Court. On the Affordable Care Act, on Obamacare, the court really was a narrow rule. And as I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, but as I understand it, they basically argued, the majority argued, that because the penalties were removed from the mandate, and so there was no harm, according to the majority, that there was no standing to take up the case. Is that in sum what they said?
More or less. It's a very convoluted opinion. 7-2. It was written by Justice Stephen Breyer. And again, it was Justice Alito with Justice Gorsuch in the dissent in this case. But essentially, the court in this Obamacare case, they didn't reach the merits of the case. They didn't address the constitutionality of the individual mandate or of Obamacare as a whole. They basically said that these parties were not the appropriate ones to be bringing this lawsuit, and that they didn't have standing. They didn't have the ability to bring this suit in federal court. And so, unfortunately, it's essentially sending the case back to the drawing board, where someone, will try to find someone who does have standing, who is the appropriate party to bring this case. And, even though it seems like this Obamacare saga is never ending at this point, I don't think we've seen the last of it. We'll likely see, future challenges being brought.
I think it's safe to say that for a lot of conservatives, Chief Justice John Roberts has been something of a disappointment. He's proven himself to be a real institutionalist on the court and kind of a minimalist in the sense that he doesn't want seemingly to go so far. And that Fulton case v. Philadelphia is a really quintessential example of that. The court could have made a sweeping religious liberty decision, and they instead very narrowly drew their opinion. Explain that to us.
Yeah, they did. So look, the outcome in this case was a phenomenal outcome, and it was unanimous. The city of Philadelphia violated the free exercise rights of Catholic social services. Basically, Philadelphia said, we're not going to allow Catholic social services to, function in a foster care or adoption placement capacity because they won't place children with same-sex couples, because obviously that violates the core tenets of their faith. Now, I think it's worth noting here that Catholic social services, although they themselves would not place children with same-sex couples, which, by the way, no same-sex couple had ever come to Catholic social services and asked for a placement through them, but Catholic Charities had a policy in place that what they would do is simply refer those couples to a different organization who would place the child. But the way the court resolved this case, they reached the right outcome, but they basically dodged the bigger question, the question that Justice Alito wrote at length about, that he would have resolved favorably to Catholic social services. And it's basically this: it's how closely will courts scrutinize government actions that restrict or infringe on the free exercise rights of citizens. And so the way the court resolved this case, a very deferential standard is still left in place. Basically, as long as the law is generally applicable, that's not targeting religion or religious activities and treating them differently, the courts really won't take a close look at that. Justice Alito said, look, that's wrong. Anytime the government seeks to substantially burden someone's free exercise rights, they better have a very compelling reason for doing it, and they should seek to achieve their goals in the least restrictive way possible. And if they don't, the court should strike down that law or that action. And so I think we'll see this same debate coming back to the court again. We may even see it with these same parties, Catholic Social Services and the city of Philadelphia. And so I don't think this is the last word we've heard on this case. But again, I think Justice Alito had the better of the argument in this case.
Hey, before I let you go, Zach Smith, the legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation, there's an abortion case just around the corner that the court's going to deal with. Kind of frame that up for us, and what do you expect to happen?
Yeah, this is a huge case. It's Dobbs v. Jackson. It's out in Mississippi. Basically, individuals are challenging some of the abortion-related restrictions, abortion-related protections that Mississippi has put in place. And so a lot of legal commentators think this may be the case where the court begins to reevaluate Roe v. Wade, Planned Parenthood v. Casey, and really, walk back a lot of their abortion-related jurisprudence. So this case is a huge one. It has a lot of interest on both the pro-choice and pro-life sides of the aisle. And, it's one I really encourage everyone to pay attention to as the court considers it next term.
Supreme Court, I love following it. It's always fascinating. You are always fascinating, Zach Smith. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll catch you again on 97.1.
Sounds great. Thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's interesting, Katie, the Supreme Court, I think it's fair to say that some conservatives are a little bit disappointed in some of these rulings. Now, to Zach's point, by and large, the court is performing well. And as a safeguard institution, if you think about between Biden and the wackiness that he's doing and having the Democrats in charge of both houses of Congress, thank the Lord that the Supreme Court has not drifted off into liberal la land. Mm-hmm. But it's an interesting thing to follow. This abortion case is going to be fascinating.
I think it is specifically Justice Roberts. I think a lot of people have had some issue with him and his decisions and his rulings, but this is a win for conservatives because it is the majority, and it's a win for those who voted for Trump specifically for his ability to nominate those Supreme Court justices.
Yeah, and I think, over time, because it's early in their tenure, I think both Justice Kavanaugh and Justice Barrett are going to distinguish themselves in their writing. And it's going to be really interesting to see as they get some experience on the bench and how they interact with the other justices. The great thing about the Supreme Court historically is that as polarized as our politics are, our partisan politics, and you look at Republicans and Democrats in Congress, the court has always throughout its history been able to maintain a certain collegiality that makes the institution work. You need to look no further than the relationship between Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Antonin Scalia. I mean, that's a beautiful example of how our Supreme Court institutionally has been able to work. I tend to think that is John Roberts' principal interest in directing the court the way he is. And the reason that some, I think, conservatives are disappointed in him is because, he is focused on that institution being functional and operating. And the fact that you'd have a 7-2 opinion with Stephen Breyer and Clarence Thomas on the same side is interesting. So, on the one hand, I kind of see the frustration, but on the other hand, I'm kind of gratified that the Supreme Court as an institution continues to work.
Absolutely. I do have a question for you before we go to break.
Yeah.
Will all of that be destructed and destroyed if the left gets their way and would like to pack the court?
Oh, yeah. That the court packing scheme, which thank goodness Joe Manchin said he's not going for it. But if they would succeed in taking the court from 9 to say 13 members, that would be horrific and it would hasten the demise of this country. I mean, it's that significant in my opinion. I'll tell you what else is significant is this crime problem we've got in St. Louis and the nutty ways our political leaders are trying to address it. We're going to talk about that when we come back on the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
I know it's strictly taboo when you
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
It's such an ancient pitch.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon from my friends at Zero Res. Welcome to June. That is the official start of summer. Now raise your hand if it means you have a list you have to tackle this summer. The good news is you're not alone, and nobody knows that better than my cleaning heroes at Zero Res. Summer is probably the best time to call Zero Res to get all the nasty dirt, dander, and grime out of your home. This is kind of nasty. Speaking of nasty, did you know that the average home takes in over 40 pounds of dust and dirt a year? So your carpet is the biggest air filter in your home, so it needs some summer loving to keep it fresh and clean. This month's Mark Reardon 97.1 special, 3 rooms of carpet cleaned and sanitized, starting at just $129. This will be the easiest chore on your to-do list this summer because Zero Res does all the work. Don't forget about those air ducts. This month, get $50 off your air duct cleaning. The certified team at Zero Res is going to use their negative air 12-step cleaning process to extract all the crud out of the ducts. Call today. Book an appointment, 474-2020. Make sure you mention my name online, ZeroResSTL.com. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res.
I've been eyeing up a bathroom remodel for our master bath for quite some time. I hate my shower. Can you relate to that? Lakeside Renovation and Design. I've talked to them about it. How big could we go? How small could we go? When it comes to having your master bath renovated, or maybe it's your main floor bathroom, you want to make it more accommodating for guests, reach out to Lakeside Renovation and Design. And if you're like me, you don't like what you have, you need something better. You need the experts to tell you, here are your options. Have you thought about doing this? What if we did that? That's what Lakeside Renovation and Design is so wonderful at. If you know exactly what you want down to the inch and the finish and the finality of everything, call Lakeside Renovation and Design and let them make it happen for you. They are the experts. They offer a lifetime workmanship warranty on top of the manufacturer's warranty to make sure that you are well taken care of and very satisfied with that final project done by the pros, the very best. 636-978-5000. Get connected today online at lakesidерenovationanddesign.com.
Home warranty. I know, right? Buying coverage for appliances, your heater and AC, etc. from a company that hopes you never ever have a claim or call. Let me introduce you to a real home warranty company, the kind that actually wants to help you. Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. Upkeep visit your home 4 times a year to maintain your appliances and equipment. You will never get a lack of maintenance denial because Upkeep does the maintenance. Also nice, Upkeep assigns you one point person to help you. You won't be passed around like an office hot potato, and you won't get subcontractors. Upkeep does all their work, so there's no blame game. Just experts helping you. Visit upkeepstl.com today and type in 971 for $100 off. Don't be denied. Instead, be relieved. Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. 636-387-7331.
Keep up your home with Upkeep. Keep up your home with Upkeep. Keep up your home with Upkeep, and you'll have a happy home.
Hello, Marvin Mitchell here from Compass Retirement Solutions. Did you know that the average 3-year CD rate in the area was less than 1%? That's why we are excited to offer you several accounts that are short-term and pay better than bank rates. For example, we currently have a 3-year account paying 2.4% and a 5-year account paying 3.5% per year guaranteed. What a great place for your lazy money. You know, the money that you don't plan to use for the next 3 to 5 years. Now, terms and conditions do apply. So for more information, call 314-373-1598. Again, call 314-373-1598. This is Marvin Mitchell, and we would like to put your lazy money to work for you. Call 314-373-1598.
Guarantees are backed by the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Rates can change without notice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
This is where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk. Join the conversation digitally. Download the Odyssey app and tune into the #1 talk station in St. Louis at any time.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. John Hancock is sitting in for Annie while she enjoys that new baby of hers. What a blessing that is. And we're wishing her the very, very best and good health and happiness. A family of 6 over there, I guess now, huh?
Yep,
Wow.
4 kids running around. She and Jared are doing what they can
Man,
do.
when you're outnumbered 2-1, you better darn well be good at parenting.
They love it.
Wow, we had 2. And that was a handful for me. My kids fought, man. I mean, we'd get in the car. And I've got a son and a daughter, and I mean, they fought. And I am the most even-tempered person I know. I mean, I don't get angry. I don't, But man, those kids, when we'd go on a trip somewhere, even just across town, if they were both in the back seat and they'd start in, they got to me a few times. I lost it.
They're close in age, correct?
3 years, 2.5.
Okay, so that's not super close. I usually hear that kids that are like a year and a half, maybe even reaching in the 2-year area, it's either they are stuck like glue, can't do anything without one another, or when they're kids, they're like, I am ready
So
to
my
go.
daughter comes in yesterday, for Father's Day, and my son's already there, and she comes in, hugs to grandpa, hugs to grandma, hugs me, hugs my wife, and says, "Hi, Johnny."
I love it.
But they do love each other.
Yes.
They hang out. Well, so I've been on a little bit of a slow boil ever since the inauguration of Mayor Tashara Jones in the city of St. Louis. And let's start here. The city of St. Louis, thanks to Biden, has got $500 million in federal money poured in here. Okay. And it's money that I guarantee you, they're going to waste it. They're going to squander it. They're going to, who knows? It may not even be, it's not going to be that helpful. And they've got $500 million, and yet they take $4 million from the police department at a time when crime is at an all-time high and the murder rate is at least a 50-year high in the city of St. Louis. And to me, this is so... It's just a repugnant approach that is going to do great harm and further erode the city. I will honestly tell you, I'm nervous every time I'm down here at night, and sometimes even during the day. I hang Michael, my radio partner, Michael Kelly. He's got an office downtown, and I'll occasionally hang out over there. And you're one driver away from driving by the building, rolling the window down, and that's the end of the ball game. I mean, it's really kind of scary. And we're not prosecuting criminals. We're taking the money away from the police. And you know what's happening? The police are taking early retirement. They're finding other careers. We've lost over 80 some positions already this year. In the first quarter of the year, where on a typical 12-month year, you have a 40 or 50 person turnover. Think about that. And they're not replacing them. And even more insidious, they've taken away the overtime pay from these police officers. So I know, because my dad was a warehouseman, and if he didn't have overtime, we couldn't make it. Overtime, that time and a half that he got driving the forklift, is what was the difference between us being able to exist or being broke. And you think about these police officers, some of whom have been in the force for years. They build that overtime pay into their family budget. And then when you take that away, you've effectively given them a pay cut. Not to mention the fact that you're inviting criminals to go out and feel like there are no consequences. Well, not everyone feels that way. There is a reform activist, national police reform activist, a woman named Brittany Packnett Cunningham. She thinks the rise in crime is not the fault of the defunding the police. It's the fault of the police themselves. Here's what she had to say.
I think that there are a lot of police unions and GOP operatives that would like for us to believe that this recent crime wave has everything to do with this idea of defunding the police. But guess what, Stephanie? The police haven't been defunded. You actually look at the 50 largest cities' law enforcement spending as a share of the general expenditure in each of those cities actually rose slightly from 13.6% to 13.7%. And many of the cities that have talked about removing that money, like Minneapolis and Seattle, they've actually paused or slowed how they were thinking about moving that money. So this rising crime is not the fault of the movement. It's actually the fault of the police. And this has been our point all along. Why should we keep funding systems and institutions that keep rendering themselves ineffective? We should be talking about gun control, livable wages, fair housing, education. That's where we should be moving the money to ensure truly safe streets.
Thanks, Brittany. You just can't be more wrong than that. And we are defunding the police in St. Louis. $4 million taken out of the budget. Overtime stopped. Open positions not being filled. 314-241-9797. How big of a deal is this for you? Are you reluctant to come downtown and enjoy maybe a Cardinal game or the other amenities that we have? You know, this is a great city, St. Louis. It really is. You think about what we have at the Symphony and the Fox Theater and all these different venues. The Stiefel Theater is another phenomenal venue. I'm afraid that I live in Chesterfield. I'm afraid that folks out my way are going to say, I don't think so. I don't feel safe down there. And, you know, it's a real problem. It's just a real problem.
Yeah, we talk about this often because we just revamped Union Station. And what a cool, spectacular thing they've done. That no one was using or occupying Union Station for the longest time.
Yeah.
Hardly anybody ever went in. Now they have the aquarium. They have amazing restaurants. They have such attractive features for you to come downtown, for you to bring your family downtown, to try and get some life back in here, to try to put some money back into the economy to get us going again. But it's sad because I think there's so many people out in the counties that are saying to themselves, well, I know the aquarium is awesome. I know that they have a really cool place for ice cream, but why would I want to bring my kids and my family into an area that, as you just described before, it takes one bullet, it takes one time, and it's happening too frequently. It's happening too often.
And it's happening to kids.
It's to kids.
Yeah.
And nobody seems to give a darn about what's happening to those poor kids, except for the police officers who we are defunding in the city.
And while we're at it, let's close the jail. Let's take the workhouse and where we've got, and these aren't drug offenders or deadbeat dads in the workhouse. These are folks, armed criminal action, murder, rape. I mean, these are serious criminals in there. And now we're going to move those prisoners to the city jail, which is at 95% capacity. We're going to ship the rest of them off to God knows where. And we're going to close the workhouse. Why? Because according to the mayor, it was not a very pleasant environment. But every member of the Board of Aldermen that went in there in the last 60 days has come out and said that the city workhouse was a perfectly acceptable correctional institution. Yeah, every single one. And these are Democrats. These aren't, there are no Republican members of the Board of Aldermen. in the city of St. Louis. This is a scourge, and it's getting worse, and it's feeding a national narrative about St. Louis that is very unhelpful.
Well, and I don't think we've actually been able to shake that narrative ever since Ferguson. I don't think we've ever been able to recover and, bring some joy or some optimism back to the city ever since Ferguson. So now we've been trying to do that, and now it's been made incredibly difficult. I'm not sure, what are your feelings about what's happening, Mayor Jones, what she's been doing? And
well, she's doing what she said she was going to do,
Okay.
which is commendable at that level, I suppose. But what she's doing is going to do long-term damage to the city. And it was just 4 years ago where the voters of the city passed by 60% a bill to put a 50-cent sales tax for the police. And if you look at where that thing passed, it passed in North St. Louis. And in North St. Louis, why? Because there's crime up there, and the people who live there need the police. They want the police. They support the police. It's these progressives that are trying to save the world from whatever that are opposed to supporting the police. Look, there are bad officers. There
Absolutely.
are, and there's bad radio hosts. Might be listening
Bad
to one right now.
producers.
Yeah, I mean, there's bad people in every profession out there, but that doesn't define the profession. And by and large, the folks that go into law enforcement are there to protect and to serve, and they've got a job to do, and they want to keep our communities safe. Why? Because they live in those communities, and they want criminals off the streets. And so, if you've got a situation where you don't have police a presence because they don't have the numbers, and they're not getting supported by the prosecutor because the prosecutor's not following through and putting people in jail, that's a recipe for anarchy. And we're getting dangerously close to that. These folks driving up and down the streets and the drive-by shootings, stray bullets hitting kids. I mean, all of that's happening in our city, and that news goes out nationally. So now imagine yourself the owner of a business, and you're trying to recruit somebody, and you've got this growing business. Maybe you're out of Cortex, and you've got a high tech business that's really starting to boom. And what you need is talent. You need programmers and top line IT people. Well, so you go out and you cast a nationwide net to go recruit. And here's a great job. It pays $130,000 a year. It's in St. Louis, Missouri. Oops, sorry, buddy. What have you got? What have you got in Nashville for me? And that's the reality of where we are.
I mean, and you come into the city every day. I'm here every single day, and the listeners know there's so many businesses. I mean, it has to do with the pandemic, but even before the pandemic, that the doors were shut and locked. Every window had cardboard up. Nobody wanted to reopen their business after the pandemic. But it was a little bit of that and a bit of the crime. And it's hard because I want this city to thrive. I love St. Louis.
Me too.
I think I mean, we're all here for a reason. It's just so hard to think about what we can do next to make it happen, to make it be better.
So you're from a large family, right? How many siblings?
I have 2 older siblings. I have so many cousins.
Are they here?
Wazoo.
Are your siblings here?
Yes, they are.
My kids are both here, and that's becoming rarer and rarer and rarer. I think about the friends of my kids that were in high school and college with them, and the majority of them have moved to Denver, or they've moved to Austin, or all these happening cities out there. And it used to be, I'm a 6th generation Missourian. So, we tend to stay here. My my ancestors, they immigrated from Tennessee in 1830 something. And they decided to become farmers, and they settled in Pulaski County, Missouri, which is the hilliest, rockiest ground in the state. I mean, you can't grow anything out. I mean, this is how brilliant the Hancocks were. So they tried farming for a couple of generations. That didn't work out, and they ended up in St. Louis, and we've been here ever since.
Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah, I come from a background of farmers as well.
We all do. Most of us are 2 or 3 generations removed from the farm. If you think about it,
because Missouri is just plains. It's just plains.
Yeah, and it's great farmland, except for where my people decided to farm.
We won't hold it against them, though. We won't hold it against them.
I'll tell you, my great grandmother. There was what a looker. I'm telling you, man. I think I get my good looks from my great-great-great-grandmother. What was her name? Nancy Anderson Lipscomb Hancock. Oh, yeah, a lot going on there. Yeah. So there you have it. Well, what do we got next hour, Katie? Oh, Stephen Moore's going to join us.
Moore.
That's always fun. He's a senior economic contributor at Freedom Works. He's going to join us. We're going to talk about inflation. I contend this is the first wave of the Biden tax increases, the inflation we're experiencing right now. He's going to join us. And State Senator Jason Palmer, my buddy from the east side over there in Illinois, he's going to join us. He's in the 54th District of the Illinois State Senate. A great guy, and we'll be back after this. Katie Fitzpatrick, John Hancock, Ryan Wiggins is hitting the ball out of Busch Stadium as we speak. We'll hear from him as well, coming your way right here on the Annie Frey Show, 97.1 FM Talk.
At Performance Eye Care, we put the utmost care in our eye exams. If you're avoiding your eye appointment because you fear the dreaded air puff, or you're scared of leaving with dilated eyes for the rest of the day, worry no more. By utilizing the latest technology, we've been able to eliminate the uncomfortable air puff, and we don't need to dilate your eyes. That means no anticipatory blinking and no discomfort. Just a simple state-of-the-art instrument yielding more accurate results. At Performance Eye Care, we also care about your time. That's why we offer same-day appointments with flexible scheduling. Plus, we feature a wide selection of frames expertly fitted by our friendly staff across our 8 locations on both sides of the river. You can find a location near you at performanceeyecare.com and secure your same-day, no air puff, no dilation appointment. Let us take the puff out and put the care in. Book your appointment online now at performanceeyecare.com. That's performanceeyecare.com.
Michael's Flooring Outlet in 3 different locations across the St. Louis area, conveniently located for you on Main Street in Old Town St. Peters at Mid Rivers and Highway 70 in West County. It's Olive Boulevard, 1 mile off 270 West in Olive. You can also visit them in Darien Prairie and see the beautiful flooring options that they have for you. When I went to talk to Michael about his business and where he came from, it's a really great homegrown business story, been in business over a quarter century, treating people with you, just like you, with the dignity and respect that you deserve, and giving you a very fair price on a value product. If you are looking on a quality product, I should say, if you are looking for a solution for your home or for your business, you can reach out to Michael's Flooring Outlet and you're going to get treated fairly. That's what these local businesses and supporting these local businesses is all about. If you're interested in getting a free in-home estimate, log on to the website at igotfloored.com, click on the schedule now button right there at the top of the page and get the process started with the best today. Michael's Flooring Outlet online at igotfloored.com.
Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage has just broken the mold once again. The bagel loan has gotten even better. If you are in the market to purchase a new home, you need to be the most competitive buyer that is out there. It's going to save you money in the long run. And Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage and the bagel loan has exactly what you need. New home loans at $200,000 or more. Absolutely no closing costs. Now, the bagel loan used to be just about no lender fees. He has added in no closing costs on top of that. You cannot beat this deal anywhere else. And he told me he's doing closings in as quickly as 2 weeks. Reach out to Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage today to secure this opportunity for you. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Rates are still ridiculously low. Be the most competitive buyer that you can be with Stewart's American Mortgage. You can call him at 314-324-4440. Find him online at stewartsamc.com and MLS number 226715.
KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk. An Odyssey station.
A Supreme Court ruling today could prompt changes in college athletics.
At issue, can the NCAA limit payments to college athletes related to education? In a unanimous decision, the U.S. Supreme Court sided with Division I athletes who argued the NCAA's cap on compensation violated antitrust laws. In a concurrence, Justice Brett Kavanaugh wrote, the NCAA's business model of using unpaid student athletes to generate billions of dollars in revenue for colleges raises serious questions under antitrust laws. The ruling is separate from an ongoing battle over whether student athletes should be paid.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland at the White House. Iran's president-elect says he's not willing to meet with President President Biden or negotiate over Tehran's ballistic missile program and its support for regional militias. Ibrahim Raisi stuck to his hardline position at his first news conference today after winning the presidency last week in a landslide. The U.S. is trying to resurrect Tehran's 2015 International Nuclear Accord. Police in Florida say Saturday's deadly crash at a pride parade was accidental.
A truck running over 2 people, killing 1 at the Stonewall Pride Parade in Wilton Manors, Florida, was not done on purpose, according to police. That revelation is forcing public officials like Fort Lauderdale Democratic Mayor Dean Trantalis to recant earlier statements.
I regret the fact that I said it was a terrorist attack because we found out that it was not.
The driver was driving the truck in the parade procession and is an elderly man who police say wasn't impaired, but got his foot stuck in the pedals.
Fox's Evan Brown. Claudette regained tropical storm status this morning as it neared the coast of the Carolinas less than 2 days after 13 people died, including 8 children in a multi-vehicle crash blamed on the effects of the storm in Alabama. America's listening to Fox News.
This is a metaphor for your business's journey. Sometimes it feels like the world is throwing everything it has at you. And to succeed, you need someone to guide you through. That's what Dell Technologies Advisors do. They have the tech advice to help you navigate whatever challenges you're up against and get you safely to where you want to be. For advice on solutions like XPS 13 laptops powered by Intel Evo platform, call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL.
Bria's fashion boutique is the worst. First, they asked me if I needed help finding anything. Just because I'm gorgeous doesn't mean I need help.
No matter how hard you work for your small business, online reviewers will find something to complain about.
Then they tell me they're having a sale. Oh, so you're assuming I'm poor. Cool.
And while Progressive can't save you from these trolls, we can help you save money on commercial auto and business insurance.
Also, they tried to give me the friends and family discount. I'm not your friend, so...
Get a quote online today at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliated and third-party insurers.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Certainly easy to tell. We've had a cool front come through. The winds have turned to the north-northwest, and temperatures are a good 20 degrees cooler this afternoon. About 75 should do it for the high. A lot of clouds around tonight, partly cloudy skies. Evening temperatures drop out of the 70s. And how about 54 and low humidity overnight tonight? Tuesday, sunny and nice. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hi, it's Michael Mohan with Community Mortgage. Interest rates are still at historic lows. If you have not taken advantage of today's low rates, what are you waiting for? I get calls all the time from people using online and national lenders. They question the fine print, need clarification, and want somebody to talk them through the steps. This is the personal service I offer. Whether you are looking to refinance or purchase, call an experienced local lender. Call me, Michael Mohan, at 314-336-6050. Call today while interest rates are still at historic lows. 314-336-6050. 314-336-6050. 314-336-6050. Or online at communitymortgagestl.com. When you call, you'll speak to me.
Community Mortgage LLC, 224-143, NMLS 250353.
Hi, I'm Bill. And I'm Mike. We've been friends since second grade, and nearly 20 years ago, we started Universal Windows Direct. Over the years, our windows have helped homeowners lower their energy bills and create secure, comfortable homes.
Now, for every one window you buy, you get the next one for free, plus no payments and no interest for 2 years.
So don't wait. Call 314-696-5909 or click universalwindowsdirect.com and you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Hey, I admit I'm somewhat of a foodie. I'm also really busy and hate making trips to the store. So I was excited to discover Imperfect Foods. They're an online grocer selling sustainable, affordable groceries, and they deliver them right to my door each week. With hundreds of items and new discoveries each week, you'll find delicious products of all kinds, from the basics to specialty items, like the dark chocolate-covered pretzel pieces. They're a must-have. Sign up today, use the code STL, and get 20% off your first 4 orders, up to $80 in savings. That's code STL at imperfectfoods.com.
Need a break from the sound bites and the talking heads? Do you want information you can actually use? Information that'll change your life for the better? Then listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Del will show you how to retire in 2 to 5 years. Your age doesn't matter. Turn off the pundits and turn on the passive income. Tune in to the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
Tune in to the Del Walmsley Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. Weeknights at 7 on 97.1 FM Talk.
97.1 FM Talk is now streaming on the Odyssey app. It's your home for streaming The Mark Cox Show, Brian Kilmeade, The Annie Frey Show, and Mark Reardon on your phone. The Odyssey app for streaming 97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
You need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
And welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Annie and Molly, baby Molly, are busy getting to know one another, and she'll be back soon enough. But I'm John Hancock. I'll be filling in for her until then. If you don't know who I am, I signed the Declaration of Independence back in the day, and probably my proudest accomplishment. And joining us right now to talk about what the heck is going on in this economy is a great economist. He's the senior economic contributor over at FreedomWorks. He's also the author of Trumponomics, Inside the America First Plan to Revive Our Economy. Stephen Moore, welcome back to 97.1 FM. It's a pleasure to have you on, sir.
Hey, John, good to be with you.
So I am very concerned about the inflationary tendencies that Biden is bringing to this economy right now.
Right.
It's in effect a tax increase on all of us.
That's right.
How big of a concern is this?
It is a big concern, and I'm concerned it's not just the Biden administration, it's also the Federal Reserve Board, which has been kind of asleep at the switch. They met last week and made an announcement that they think this inflation is, quote, transitory. Transitory, by the way, is the new word in Washington. And so we're supposed to believe that the prices will return to normal in a few months, but I'm not buying that. I mean, they've been saying that for the last several months, and inflation is getting higher, not lower. I paid $3.49 a gallon to fill up my tank this weekend. That's a lot. I have a friend in California who's paying close to $5 a gallon now for gas. And you see it, by the way, not just in grocery prices and obviously energy prices, but look at the cost of trying to get an airline ticket. Try to rent a car. You tried to rent a car lately? I mean, if you number one, they've doubled their most of the agencies have doubled their prices. Number two, even at those higher prices, in many airports are out of cars. So it's really causing hardship for Americans, and it is a what I call a regressive tax on the lowest income people. So when Biden says, "Oh, I'm only going to raise tax on people making over $400,000," he's already raised tax on people like you and me and the people listening to the show. If you have a car and you fill up your tank, if you go to the grocery store, all of these things, you're paying what I call the Biden inflation tax.
Well, I felt it this weekend. So my wife sent me to the grocery store on Saturday, and I don't like to talk, Stephen, but I'm a pretty good shopper. I go through there and I pick out a little of this, I get a little of that. And I go down the aisles. I don't really have a list. I just go down the aisles and start throwing stuff in the cart. And I was absolutely shocked when the scanner stopped scanning my stuff. It was, this is real, this inflation. And it's affecting people and affecting family. Yeah, it's horrible. How much of this is driven by just the raw, ridiculous spending that we've had over the last 18 months?
Well, your wife is more tolerant than mine is. My wife won't let me go to the grocery store because all I do is get, chocolate ice cream and sweets and this and that. And
butter
you didn't
pecan,
get anything.
Butter pecan, that's my weakness.
Look, I think that the excessive spending and the multi-trillion-dollar spending bills that Biden has introduced have accelerated the inflation. No question about it. The way the nation has passed another $1 or $2 trillion unpaid for one of these debt bills because they when the government borrows and borrows more money and they print more and more money, which is what the Fed is doing. Guess what? That means every dollar that you have in your purse or your wallet or your bank account is worth less. It's a thief. Inflation is a thief. It reduces the value of your paycheck in terms of what you can buy with it. And so, I agree with you. I think that the insane spending, Biden's budget, it calls for $22 trillion of additional debt over the next 10 years, which would basically almost double our national debt. I mean, these are insane numbers. And we've got to, even the Republicans, by the way, they go, well, we're not going to spend $2 trillion, we're going to spend $1 trillion.
Yeah, right.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
We should be cutting spending, not increasing it.
Yeah, Republicans don't exactly have a leg to stand on when it comes to spending over the last 2 decades.
It's a bipartisan disease in Washington. And, these people live in a bubble. I mean, I keep listening to the politicians. I listen to Biden. I listen to his Treasury Secretary. I listen to people at the Fed. We don't see any inflation. And if there's any inflation, it's transitory. It's going to go away. I'm like, why don't you people get out of the bubble, go to a grocery store, go to a hardware store?
Yeah, I read, I've read a couple of conflicting things about this concept of monetizing the debt. Some economists think that this is a horror that we're going through. And basically, we're no longer selling the bonds to cover our debt. We're just printing the money to cover our debt. Is this as scary as some of the stuff I've been reading?
There's this new, have you heard of something called modern monetary theory?
Yeah, right.
Have you heard about this? Yeah, most people don't. They don't follow this stuff that closely, and I have to because that's what I get paid for. But modern monetary theory was this dingbat theory that some people in these left-wing, second-rate, universities came up with a few years ago, and we used to laugh about it. Can you believe these people actually believe this? Which is that you can just keep borrowing, and spending, and as long as you've got the world's reserve currency, and as long as people are willing to buy the bonds, you don't have to worry about it. And to me, that's like saying, gee, just jump out the 92nd floor of the John Hancock building and you have nothing to worry about, of course, until you hit the sidewalk. And so this is what's going on right now is we are practicing modern monetary theory. The Biden people really believe this stuff. And so they're borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. And John, anywhere in the world where that story has had a happy ending.
Right. I mean, just look what Greece went through, and so many of these nations that have literally spent themselves into economic ruin. And there is a day. My sense, Stephen, and I don't know if you agree with this, but my sense is that there is inevitably a day of reckoning coming for this economy. And we've had all the quantitative easing thrown into the stock market. We've artificially pumped up the economy, and at some point those bills come due. And when those bills come due, China's holding a large part of our debt right now. All of this stuff, it's scary.
I do agree with you. I think that this is an experiment that has been tried in many other countries. You mentioned Greece, and think about, countries like Argentina and Venezuela and Mexico that have tried this. Somebody gave me the other day, I gave a speech a month or so ago, and somebody gave me a Zimbabwe, bill, and it's a 100 billion Zimbabwe, whatever their currency is. So it's, you probably think I'm really rich, right? 100 billion of these Zimbabwe dollars. Well, I looked it up. It's worth about 36 cents.
So whose likeness graces the $100 billion Zimbabwe bill?
Well, it ain't George Washington. That. And so, but my point is, it doesn't matter how many zeros you put on your bills, right? I mean, what matters is what you can buy with your money. And it's very simple. If the government spends more and more money, there's only so many resources that we have. That means the government spends more. That means we have to spend less. And that's why the prices go up. And look, this is not complicated stuff, right? I mean, my sixth grader can figure this out. But these politicians think there's some kind of fool's gold that we can continue to spend and borrow and tax, and it's not going to adversely affect the economy. Now, look, I don't want to be too, negative here. We've got an economy, thanks to the Trump, vaccine, that is really about to take off. We're going to see, I think this summer is going to be good. I think, the fall is going to be good. But you raised a great point. There's always a day of reckoning. Bills have to be paid. It's like, when we go out, sometimes we go to these Mexican restaurants and, I'll confess, sometimes I have one too margarita too many and we end up dancing on the tables and it feels great. And then the next morning I can't get out of bed.
So do you like the El Presidente, the one that's got the big bowl, or are you more of a traditional small bowl guy?
I go with and I like them, I like them on the rocks. And anyway, but I mean, the point is that, we're being very short-sighted here. And I think most Americans, I saw a poll today, 71% of Americans are either somewhat or very concerned about inflation because they feel it. Again, it doesn't matter what the politicians say. And the media is not really covering the story either. But somebody asked me, yesterday, well, gee, how big of a problem can it be when the New York Times isn't covering it? I'm like, well, people don't need to hear this from the media. They see it. They feel it. I mean, you feel every time you go to the store. You can't spin your way out of this.
Yeah, and looming just around the corner as they're debating the infrastructure bill,
right,
in Washington, and how we're going to pay for it. I just feel like, and we're in this, it's almost like the locusts. Every 17 years they come out, it's taxing the rich. That's become the mantra for so much of the left out there. And of course, there's no such thing as taxing the rich without taxing all of us. But people don't seem to understand that. Are we facing a tax increase in this country, do you think?
Well, certainly Biden wants the biggest tax increase in American history. But you know what? I think that there's a lot of opposition to that right now. I mean, people realize coming out of a terrible, terrible pandemic and our small businesses just finally getting back on their feet. And we want to grow back to where we were before. I think most Americans realize that would be very negative for the economy. And I think also Americans don't buy this canard that only the people who make over, $500,000 are going to pay these taxes. I mean, come on, when's that ever happen? Do you think somebody like, Bill Gates or Warren Buffett or, Zuckerberg, do you think they're going to pay more taxes? They have legions of lawyers and accountants and lobbyists. They're going to find ways around paying the taxes. It's you and me that get stuck. The middle class always gets plucked.
So true, my friend. We're joined by Stephen Margarita Moore. He's the senior economic contributor at FreedomWorks. Before we let you go, Stephen, I was just out of town, and there's nobody working in the restaurants. The hotels are not cleaning your room every day because there's nobody to clean the room every day. People in this country are learning not to work. This is not good.
I've been leading the charge on this one. We have a study. I hope people will go to our website, Committee to Unleash Prosperity. We have a study that was highlighted in the Wall Street Journal last week that showed that in many states, workers that still have not repealed the $300 a week bonus unemployment benefit. I know Missouri has rescinded that, but Illinois has not. Illinois has not. And I know a lot of your listeners are in this Illinois side of the border. And this means that in Illinois, you get a couple with two kids, both parents are unemployed. You can get, on an annualized basis, benefits of over $100,000. I mean, it's crazy with all the unemployment benefits, the food stamps, the free health care, the free tuition, free rental assistance, all this stuff. I mean, I'm in favor of a safety net, but come on, and it's killing our small businesses, our restaurants, our stores, little construction sites. They can't find workers. We got a little restaurant down the street from where I live in our village, and it's a popular restaurant, and they've been closing early every night because they can't get the waiters, they can't get the kitchen help, and they're paying $18 an hour. They're paying, they say we'll give you, free food, we're going to give you free meals, you're going to get, a free gym membership, $50 for just coming in for an interview. And I'm like, gee, how do I get one of those jobs? But it's really difficult for these small businesses to compete with their very, very rich Uncle Sam.
Yeah, conservatives believe in a safety net. Liberals believe in a safety trampoline. They want everybody to give everybody a bounce.
Yeah, I call it a hammock.
Right.
And look, and it's a big question of how this is. I was debating a liberal on Fox the other day on this, and they were saying, "Oh, well, why would a state like Illinois want to give this money back to Washington. I said, well, first of all, there's no such thing as free money.
Right.
The money that the federal government gives to Illinois comes from Illinois in the first place. So that's a stupid argument. And the second is because it's harmful. It's harmful and it's unfair and it's bad, even bad for the workers themselves. You've got workers now who've been unemployed for 14 or 15 months. That's not a healthy thing.
No, it's not. It's not a good way to live. It's not a good way to find your dignity as a human being.
Right.
Well, hey, Stephen, you're a treasure. We appreciate you here on the Annie Frey Show. Great job, and I'm sure our paths will cross again.
I'll see you soon. Thanks for having me.
Take care. Speaking of Illinois, State Senator Jason Plummer from Illinois, just across the river in Madison County. He's going to join us. You know, the contrast between Missouri and Illinois has never been more stark when it comes to government. Jason Plummer is going to break that down for us on the Annie Frey Show. 97.1 FM Talk. We'll be back after this.
Your arrow goes straight to my lover's heart for me.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show.
Cupid, please hear my cry.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
To my lover's heart for me. Now, I don't mean to bother
You've heard it's a
you,
seller's market, and yes, that makes it a great time to sell your home. Hey, it's Mark Cox here, and like every home seller, I want you to sell for the most money with the least stress. That's easy. Just call Gloria Liu with GL International Realty, part of Coldwell Banker Premier Group. Gloria is St. Louis real estate authority with an outstanding team that sells twice as fast for about 3% more money than other realtors. That's about $12,000 more on a $400,000 home. Gloria's unique marketing system showcases your home to her exclusive pool of over 9,000 ready buyers, resulting in increased demand and strong offers. Gloria Liu's sellers love working with her. They gladly refer her to friends because they know Gloria guarantees to sell your home at your agreed to price or she'll buy it herself. Call Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Let's talk about Stewart's American Mortgage and how you can use the bagel loan to your advantage for your home purchase. At Stewart's American Mortgage, you're going to work with Stewie, and he's going to pay your appraisal and title fees. You're not going to pay him. Stewie's going to pay him. That's fantastic. Thanks, Stewie. He's going to give you more money to offer your seller to beat these competitive bids by doing so. When he frees up those fees that you don't have to pay for, you can add that on to the offer to get that dream house that you don't want to lose. Or maybe if you and your wife or your husband are working over trying to figure out where to put the extra cash, you save that extra money without having to pay those fees. Maybe you can get both the jacuzzi and the new appliances, maybe the new TV or the new lawnmower, whatever it is that you're bickering over, you get them both, and it's a win. Thank you, Stewie, once again. Also, the biggest thing I think is the closing in 2 weeks. Be the most competitive person in that bidding war and win your dream home. 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440, Stewart'sAMC.com, NMLS number 226715.
If you've listened to 97.1 FM Talk, you have heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple on the station as the financial expert for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend on 97.1 FM Talk. And in case you miss any of those shows, on his podcasts on Odyssey.com and search Safe Money 97.1. So call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
If you're looking for a diamond engagement ring, then you gotta come to Shane Company. We're hearing from customers that it's slim pickings out there. Other jewelers just aren't able to offer a lot of options. They're trying to sell you lower quality or lab-grown diamonds, and it might be a month before you even get the ring. All right, so look, at Shane Company, because we pay cash at the source and work with partners we've had for generations, we have more diamonds to choose from than anywhere else. Always natural, always conflict-free. Our selection is amazing. Looking for a pear-shaped diamond? We've got those. Looking for a cushion cut? Got those too. Don't know what a cushion cut is? We can show you. Or maybe you want to go with the classic round. We've got them in stock in every price range. Don't just settle for any diamond. Visit us at the store or shop online where shipping is fast and free.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business, Shane Company. Open weekdays till 8, Saturday and Sunday till 5. and online at Schenko.com.
Whenever I bring home Entenmann's Little Bites muffins.
Little Bites?
That's right, sweetie. Can you just give Mommy a minute?
I love Little Bites.
I know you do, but we're doing a commercial right now, okay?
Got it.
As I was saying, whenever I bring home you-know-what, you-know-who gets pretty excited. And so do I. Little Bites muffins are made with real ingredients, no high-fructose corn syrup, and are baked moist and delicious.
I love Little Bites.
Here you go.
Yes.
Entenmann's Little Bites muffins. The perfect portion of happiness.
If it's happening in the world, the country, or the community, then it's happening here. This is where St. Louis comes to talk. And you've made it the #1 talk station in St. Louis. 97.1 FM Talk, the place for ideas.
Hey there, welcome back to the Annie Frey Show, 97.1 FM Talk. I'm John Hancock. I'll be filling in for the next few days while Annie enjoys baby Molly. And a buddy of mine joins us right now. He's a state senator from Illinois, the 54th district over there, Madison County, Illinois, to be precise. State Senator Jason Plummer. Jason, how are you, partner?
I'm doing well, John. How are you today?
Good. How was Father's Day over there?
You know, it was great. We had a couple new additions to the family, so it was a real blessing.
Now your oldest is how old now?
She'll be 3 in August.
So she knows who you are.
Oh, she reminds me who she is too. She's the boss.
Yeah, I'm sure that's right. 3 years old, man, and so everything's good, right? On the personal side, the political side in Illinois, well, kind of interesting. Are you guys still wearing masks over there?
No masks, but you're being generous when you call things interesting in Illinois right now.
Yeah. So what is happening right now in Illinois? I know that they still are paying the unemployment money for people not to work, and that's got to be affecting the economy there. And have you heard from business owners that are having a hard time finding people?
Absolutely. It's a real struggle out there. A lot of businesses are having problems filling positions, and that's only, impacting the consumer, driving up costs and bringing down service. So and I hate to beat on Illinois, but the whole unemployment process through IDES for the last 12 or 14 months has been a painful process, especially for the very vulnerable Illinoisans that need that assistance during the pandemic. So it's a real problem, and the way they're handling it right now is dragging down our economy. Though we've been so terrible at preventing fraud, I think we've actually boosted some economies, probably in Nigeria and elsewhere, because we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars that's just been fleeced from the taxpayers.
It's you've got that governor of the common man over there, J.B. Pritzker. I mean, if anybody can relate to the common man, it's J.B. Pritzker. Well, what's he bringing to the table?
Governor Pritzker, he continues to, I think, focus on his national political aspirations to the detriment of the people of Illinois. I mean, just talking about like we were unemployment with IDES, a lot of states had problems with that initially, understandably, because it was a crisis, and it was a big crisis, and it just kind of came out of left field. But here we are, 14 months into it, and we're still having problems in Illinois because Governor Pritzker is not serious about public policy. He's not serious about, fixing a broken state. He's focused on the politics of the office. Whether that's the budget, whether that's the issues I've been dealing with the Prisoner Review Board, you name it. Governor Pritzker has national aspirations. We all know that. And he's kind of outsourced the day-to-day management of the state of Illinois to his deputy governors, who tend to be young ideologues who are focused on politics. And that doesn't help people, You run for office, that's politics. But once you're in office, you have to focus on servicing the people of the state. And that's not happening in Illinois right now.
Jason Plummer is our guest, state senator from Illinois' 54th district. You mentioned the Prisoner Review Board. What's cooking there?
Well, we have a process in Illinois where the governor is allowed to appoint people to the PRB, the Prisoner Review Board, that then has the opportunity to let people out of prison early. It's been around for a long time, and the way it typically is handled is the governor makes appointments, and those people then come before the Executive Appointments Committee on the Senate, where I'm the Republican spokesperson, and we kind of make sure that they're appropriate appointments, they're competent individuals, and then we kind of say yay or nay. And there's a unique process where as soon as being appointed, they start collecting their salary and they start making decisions, but they're supposed to appear before our committee within 60 days. And the governor is now doing what I refer to as the Springfield Shuffle, where he appoints them, and then about day 57 or 58, he pulls their appointment, waits a couple days, and then reappoints them, restarting the 60-day clock. So these people have literally been serving for over a year, letting people out of prison, and they are not coming before the Senate for our approval. And we're not talking about random bureaucrats here, John. We're talking about, if I made a movie or wrote a book about this, people would say it's not realistic. That can't be true. The governor of Illinois literally appointed a convicted double murderer to the Prisoner Review Board, who is now making decisions to let people out of prison.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it's obscene. They're getting paid like $90,000 a year by the people of Illinois. They've let Class X felons, rapists, murderers, carjackers, all kinds of violent criminals out of prison. Some of them they can't even find anymore. And the state Senate is abdicating its duties because we have every power to call these people before our committee to make sure that they're making reasonable decisions on behalf of the people of Illinois. And Governor Pritzker doesn't want it to happen, so the Senate Democrats are neglecting their constituents to appease the governor. It's politics at its worst. It's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. I mean, you think about the difference between having a conservative government in place versus what happens when these leftists take over. And Illinois is just a great example of that with this progressive governor and large Democrat majorities in the state House and Senate. 100 years ago, Jason, as you may know, I served in the minority in the Missouri House of Representatives as a Republican, and it is such a foreign experience. All these Missouri Republicans over here now, none of them ever lived when the Republicans were a minority. Talk about what it's like to serve as a conservative in a legislative body that's governed by a bunch of leftists.
Well, I know you're a baseball fan, John, so your question brings to mind a quote. George Steinbrenner ran the New York Yankees, I think, with an iron fist, and he had some limited partners. And I remembered one of his limited partners once said, "There's nothing in life quite so limited as being a limited partner of George Steinbrenner." So I raised that quote because when it comes to being in the minority of Illinois, I think it's much different than being in the minority in a place like Missouri or Indiana or elsewhere, because we're not just in the minority, we're in the super minority. And the folks from Chicago really don't care about huge swaths of the state. And so when we bring reasonable legislation to the table that might impact our communities or might be important to the economy of Southwestern, Southeastern, Central Illinois, you name it, I mean, we don't get committee hearings. We can't get any action on this legislation. We had a budget team that was supposed to negotiate on our $42.3 billion state budget. They were excluded from almost all of the meetings, and we got a 3,800-page budget dropped on our laps a mere hours before we're supposed to vote on it. I was one of the 4 Republicans on the redistricting committee. It was, I would call it a dog and pony show, but that would be an insult to dog and pony shows because, I mean, literally the majority party would have these fake hearings. You would bring in groups like the NAACP, MALDAF, UCRO, the Fair Maps groups, all these different groups from across the political spectrum, from northern Illinois to southern Illinois, you name it. And they would give legitimate, reasonable, passionate testimony on how the redistricting process should work to protect minorities or rural areas or different groups. And the majority party made a bunch of promises to these groups, made a bunch of promises to us, and then went behind closed doors, drew a map, unveiled the map, and voted on it a few hours later, completely neglecting all of these different groups, the people of Illinois. And it's just like the governor, he promised he would veto a partisan map. He promised that he would support fair maps and independent commission. And when a very partisan map that was drawn behind closed doors got dropped on his lap, he signed it because they really don't care about the democratic process. It's their way or the highway, and it's frustrating.
How'd you come out with your district? You have a nice little contiguous, compact district, do you?
Yes, I do, John. It's so contiguous and so compact. It goes from essentially St. Louis to Indiana, and and that's not a joke. It literally goes to the Indiana border. So my district starts in Edwardsville, which your listening base probably knows about where Edwardsville is, and then it's a state senate district that goes from Edwardsville to Indiana. Wow. And you take that and you go across the state of Illinois, and I've got one county. Well, it is a long drive. I've got one county, Washington County, which is a phenomenal place, and it's about 14,000 people, and they've got about 6 legislators representing a county that small right now. It's pretty unbelievable.
That's crazy. Well, Jason Plummer, a good buddy of mine. Now, I know you to be a baseball fan. I know you to be something of a Los Angeles Dodger fan. And are we going to go to the game when the Dodgers are in town this year?
Absolutely. And I've got a brand new blue and white Albert Pujols jersey for you, John.
Hey, how about this guy? It's like he's been reborn with the Dodgers. It's crazy. Did you expect that?
I didn't know what to expect. I follow baseball, but once he went to Anaheim, I kind of lost track of how he was doing. But it's almost like the Albert Pujols of 10 years ago right now in the middle of the lineup. And we've had so many injuries. We're happy to take it.
Yeah, he went deep again. I think it was 676 or so, 570. 676. I think it was last night. And
he had a 3-run home run last night that was big. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be a time when the Dodgers I think it's like right towards the end of the season in September, and perhaps Jason Plummer, a man who makes me feel like a little puny guy. Have you seen Jason, Katie? Have you ever met him?
I don't think so.
He's like 7'8". I mean,
you know what, Jason? We have met before. Yeah, I'm sorry, we have met. Yes.
I mean, I'm tall, Katie, but don't believe John. He got all the looks. I promise you, he got all the looks.
Hey, buddy, I've been working on my weight loss for the first time in my life, and I'm down 1 pant size today, and maybe even a bra size if I'm looking at this. So it's going well. You may not recognize me.
Oh, well, hey, I look forward to catching a ball game with you, and I appreciate you guys keeping an eye on Illinois because there's a lot to keep an eye on over here, and you guys do a great job.
All right, keep them honest, brother.
All right, take care, guys. Thanks a lot.
Senator Jason Plummer. Hey, when we come back, how about that Albert Pujols? He's doing some stuff, and remember that guy from Indiana? What was his name? Used to be what was his name? The guy, he was the vice president. What the heck was that guy's name?
You're asking the wrong lady, John. I don't know nothing about no sports.
No, the vice president, Mike Pence.
Oh, I thought you said something with sports. I'm like, I don't know.
Indiana. So we're going to talk a little bit about Albert Pujols and that guy from Indiana on 97.1. It's the Andy Frey Show right here on 97.1.
You're listening to the Andy Frey Show. Interact with Andy on Facebook. The Andy Frey Show.
You're listening to the Andy Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Get in your comfort zone this summer with 0% financing for 72 months and utility rebates on qualifying new HVAC systems. For details, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't hate, don't paint Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
I'm Dr. Nick Barnes at Health From Within Family Chiropractic in Rock Hill. At Health From Within, our mission is to transform the way you manage your health by bringing you the truth about health and healing. We use proven techniques to remove interference in the nervous system and maximize health naturally, without drugs or surgery. Connect with me at healthfromwithinstl.com and join me for Maximize Living on this station every Sunday at 8 a.m. or download the Maximize Living podcast, healthfromwithinstl.com.
There are some partners that we have here at 97.1 and on the Annie Frey Show that I'm so excited to be able to connect you with them, because when you understand that Thomas Helbig is there for you, waiting for your phone call at 314-993-9494. Visit him online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com. They're people who I know have a proven track record of working with 97.1 listeners. People exactly like you sitting here who have prepared for their future and want to make sure that it's going to be there securely when retirement arrives. For 35 years, Thomas Helbig and the Retirement Advisory Group has helped retirees, pre-retirees, people exactly in your position, understand what options that you have. They want to make sure that you're comfortable if you're about ready to leave a job or retire. Call 314-993-9494, 314-993-9494 for a free retirement review. And get it started today. Don't put it off any longer. You'll be disappointed if you do, but you'll be glad if you don't. retirementkey.com.
If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis can pay you cash and close in as little as 5 days. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis is your most trusted home buyer. We buy houses in any condition, any price range, and in any location in the St. Louis metro. Call 314-782-5000. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis buys inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses, and even those my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Call Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis today. Vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, get a cash offer in just 7 minutes. Call Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis at 314-782-5000. That's 314-782-5000. 314-782-5000.
Warm weather's a great time to train a new puppy. Mark Cox here for my friends at Petland in Lake St. Louis. They've got the puppies. If you've had a hard time finding one, go to petlandstl.com or just pay them a visit. 6131 Ronald Reagan Drive out in Lake St. Louis. Puppies have been hard to come by, but the owners, Tom and Jeff, have amazing relationships. They can offer the best selection of puppies in Missouri. Again, 636-695-4503, petlandstl.com.
The Mark Cox Morning Show.
The Democrats went back and did a deep dive. How did we win the presidency and lose all of these down ballot races? It happened because they're not representative of the public.
Weekday mornings 5 to 9.
Oh,
Nice. Hey, it's John Hancock. I'm in for Annie Frey. It is the Annie Frey Show in the great town of St. Louis, Missouri, and all parts on the east side as well. Well, I am a huge baseball fan, Katie, and I love the Cardinals. I've been a lifelong Cardinal fan. I've known the players since I was a wee little kid, and I used to, in fact, not anymore, but for years, all of my passwords were related to Bob Gibson. So I changed it after I got hacked, but anyway, I love the Cardinals, and of course, one of the great Cardinals of all time was Albert Pujols, and he had 11 years, maybe the best 11 years of any offensive ball player in history. You think about every year he hit 300, 30 homers or more, drove home 100 runs. His OPS in 11, I think 9 of the 11 years, his OPS was over 1,000 in 9 of 11 years. Just an absolute incredible. And we had won the World Series in 2011. Albert Pujols was a free agent. It never dawned on me that he would ever play anyplace else than here. He would be a Cardinal for life. He would be beloved just like Stan Musial was. He would own the town, and I just never thought he would leave. Well, he left. He went to the Anaheim Angels. He took a $250 million 10-year deal. That's good work if you can get it.
Mm-hmm.
And he went over to Anaheim, and he never had a season there that even approached what he did in his worst season in St. Louis. And it was really kind of disappointing. In the last 3 years, his play had really deteriorated. His playing time had deteriorated, and it got to a point earlier in this season where they weren't going to be able to play him every day. And Albert Pujols, who's a baseball legend, was just not happy about it. And the two of them got together. I think they had some harsh words with one another, and the Angels released him, which is really an ignominious way for one of the all-time greats of the game just to be released.
Yeah.
And, there was speculation that the Cardinals might sign Albert, but there's really no place here. You got Paul Goldschmidt at first base. We don't have a DH in the National League. So, but one team that was in need of some first base spark and some offensive spark was the LA Dodgers. And they took a flyer on Albert Pujols, and it has been night and day since he's gotten to LA. I mean, he's played in, 18, 20 games so far. He's already hit 6 home runs there. His batting average is higher than it has been in years. His OPS it's the 3rd highest on the team right now. I mean, think about that. And last night, this happened.
1-2 is hit well down the left field side. It is gone, a home run. Career home run, 673 for the machine. A 3-run shot, and the Dodgers lead it 4-0.
673 home runs. That is 5th all time, and he continues to climb that ladder. He's been absolute death on left-handed pitching, and that's when if they're facing a lefty, Albert's in the lineup, and he is 41 years old, and some think older, but he's 41 years old. He's still got incredibly quick hands, drives the ball. He's having a phenomenal season. He will be back in St. Louis in September with the Dodgers. Let's hope the Cardinals are a contending team then. I'm a little disappointed in the Cardinals so far this year.
Isn't there something so wonderful, though, about watching someone extremely talented and doing something that they love and seeing them be successful at it? I mean, all of the stars have to align for something like that to happen. And Albert Pujols just has it. He has that spark. He's magnificent.
Yeah, he is. And a great human being, too. And has done so much. And I will confess, because I'm not happy about myself, but when he first went to Anaheim, I was kind of rooting for him to screw up.
I was going to say, was it did you have a bitter taste in your mouth whenever he, okay.
It's like, I think when a spouse cheats on you.
You're like, what the heck?
And
all these years.
Yeah, right. And then, though, as time went on, and I was at the game when he came back, I guess it was 2019, he came back to St. Louis for the first time as an Anaheim Angel, and I was at the game, standing ovation every time he came up. He did hit a home run, standing ovation again, and you could just feel the love and appreciation, mutual love and appreciation between Albert and the fans of St. Louis. As Albert likes to say, we are the greatest fangs in baseball here in St. Louis, and we really are, and he'll be back, so looking forward to that. Something caught my attention yesterday. So Mike Pence, vice president, probably not a more loyal vice president in the history of the country. You think about from the Access Hollywood tape to all the controversy throughout the Trump era, there was no one more loyal and supportive and laudatory towards Donald Trump than was Mike Pence. And, it seemed like a perfect relationship when Pence was put on the ticket. He was brought on, strong, committed evangelical, Mike Pence, very committed evangelical. And at the time, Trump was hoping to improve his performance with the evangelical voters. Mm-hmm. Mike Pence really played a large part in making that happen for Donald Trump. And it seemed like a partnership that was as solid could be until came the post-election 2020, when we all know what happened. Donald Trump talking about voter fraud and election stealing and so forth. And ultimately, after every avenue had been exhausted, from legal challenges to discussing with the Justice Department, to all of the avenues, it came down to January the 6th, the day that the Electoral College vote is ratified. And the president had had told folks that he thought Mike Pence would be able to stop that process and send it back to the states. That didn't happen. Mike Pence said he was doing his constitutional job, and he had constitutional analysis had been done for him that made that point. And ultimately, January 6th happened. Congress reconvenes. The electoral vote is approved by the Congress, and Joe Biden became the president. Well, Mike Pence was speaking, I guess it was yesterday, huh? Mm-hmm. And he's at a conservative conference. He gets to the podium, and this is what happened.
Well, hello, America. It is great to be back with so many patriots dedicated to faith and freedom and the road to the majority. And I want to thank my friend Ralph Reed for those overly generous words. I'm deeply humbled by them. Ralph Reed knows me well enough to know the introduction I prefer is a little bit shorter. I'm a Christian, a conservative, and a Republican in that order, and I am honored to stand before you today.
So you hear, I don't know if you could hear that clearly. I could. The shouts of traitor, you're a traitor, you sold us out. And this is the second time now this has happened when Mike Pence has gone out to speak. And, you know, I think Mike Pence's political viability may be over. You know, if he's lost the support of the Trump base to the point where they're calling him a traitor, I don't know how you politically recover from that. I wonder how Trump supporters generally, I'm sure some don't like him for what he did, but I bet you not all feel that way about Mike Pence. A lot of people like myself, for example, consider him a faithful, loyal, good, committed conservative. And I would be pleased to see Mike Pence in public office again. But I wonder if folks out there would, if you want to check in, 314-241-9797. Is Mike Pence a traitor? Or was he a loyal lieutenant to Donald Trump? If you're a Donald Trump supporter, love to hear from you. And if you think Pence has a political future that's viable, what do you think, Katie?
Man, I've always liked Mike Pence. There are many, many things I disagree with him on politically, which is fine. But I think that he was the perfect counterpart to Donald Trump. I think that there was no one better to select when you have a president that is loud and boisterous and makes their presence known, to have a second in command that is more buttoned up, that is more suit and tie, that is a little bit more polished.
Opposites attract.
Correct. And they worked together well as a dynamic duo, as a team. I don't like when people don't get their way and they point fingers at someone else because they need someone to blame that has nothing to do, that only did their job and only did it well. Don't point fingers and call Mike Pence a traitor. He did everything that he was supposed to do, and he did it well. I feel like that is I hope that the people that do believe that, my perspective, of course, my opinion, I hope they are part of the minority. I hope their group is very small. I think that people that voted for Trump, they did enjoy what Mike Pence could bring to the table, especially because he did bring a lot of conservatives. Many, many people who voted for Trump did not believe that Trump was going to be as conservative as he is. And he chose Mike Pence to also bring evangelicals as well as very red meat, very Republican conservatives over to Trump's side.
Yeah, but if you've followed the former president's rhetoric since he left office, I would be shocked. So let's say Donald Trump runs for president in 2024. A lot of people think that's going to happen. And I don't think, given what I've seen rhetorically out of President Trump, I don't think he picks Mike Pence as his vice president if he runs again.
I agreed.
And I don't think Mike Pence would run if Donald Trump were running again. And that's probably the end of Mike Pence's presidency. Well, let's go to the phone, shall we? And Patty is joining us. Patty, you're on KMOX. Or you're on 97.1. I did it.
Yes, I do know where I am. Mike Pence was never my choice for Donald Trump's vice president. I love Donald Trump. Whatever he runs for, I will vote for him. And that's not because Mike Pence didn't didn't stop the certification. I don't find, and he is a very Christian man. I love his pro-life stance. I don't find him to be a leader. He just isn't that type of a leader to me. He's a very gentle man, but I want a dynamic leader right now.
Yeah, I mean, you're a fan of Donald Trump's precisely because of his leadership style.
Absolutely. I just, yes, I absolutely. He just makes me smile and laugh.
All right. Well, Patty, thanks so much for your call. Thanks for your thoughts.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think that's a sentiment that's probably shared by a lot of people, and that just is kind of what it is.
There are a few folks that I can read here in just this minute on our live stream, facebook.com/Annie Frey Show. Jackie says he was not loyal to the cause. I don't want him back in office. Speaking of Pence. Lisa says, no, traitor. Michael says, I don't like Pence. He's a traitor. He should have asked the states to look into the allegations. We have a couple people. Brad Range says that he's okay. He knows that Pence is tied to Donald Trump now, so he doesn't think that he'll ever have a chance to get back into office. So there's a lot of conversation happening on our live stream. Go ahead, facebook.com/Annie Frey Show, and leave a comment there so we can read about it.
That's pretty cool. I see. I don't have that at the other place. I'm here at 97.1. When you get to be my age, Katie, it gets easy to get confused sometimes, but that's just the way it is. Well, we got 2 down and 1 to go, folks. John Hancock along with Katie Fitzpatrick. We're going to be joined next hour by our own Ryan Wiggins. Now, he's been at the ballpark, folks, and with a big league experience of some sort. He's supposed to be hitting. He may go deep, take one over the fence. We'll find out. We'll find out if he was seeing live pitching or Cardinal pitching. All that's going to be fun. Also, Rick Stream, the Republican Director of Elections for St. Louis County. We're going to talk about ballot integrity and how important that is. All that's coming your way after the news on 97.1 FM Talk.
The new Hyundai Santa Fe is available with a class-exclusive feature called Ultrasonic Rear Occupant Alert. It can help prevent a little one from being accidentally left in the rear seat. It's innovative technology that helps make every family outing safer.
Get $1,000 in total savings on the Santa Fe, now with complimentary maintenance. See your local St. Louis Hyundai dealer or visit buyhyundai.com today. Offer ends July 6, 2021. Call 224-661-0068 for details.
Tony LaRussa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
Home warranty. I know, right? Buying coverage for appliances, your heater and AC, etc., from a company that hopes you never, ever have a claim or call. Let me introduce you to a real home warranty company, the kind that actually wants to help you. Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. Upkeep visit your home 4 times a year to maintain your appliances and equipment. You will never get a lack of maintenance denial because Upkeep does the maintenance. Also nice, Upkeep assigns you one point person to help you. You won't be passed around like an office hot potato, and you won't get subcontractors. Upkeep does all their work, so there's no blame game. Just experts helping you. Visit upkeepstl.com today and type in 97.1 for $100 off. Don't be denied. Instead, be relieved. Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. 636-387-7331.
Keep up your home with Upkeep. Keep up your home with Upkeep. Keep up your home with Upkeep, and you'll have a happy home.
Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm here in St. Louis. I've been warning our clients that IRS employees are back at work since mid-July, and their collection efforts have ramped up. Well, sure enough, it looks like it's happening. So if you have unfiled tax returns, wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, now's the time to call the Lance Drury Law Firm before the IRS calls you. Tax resolution plans are based off your current income. So if your current income is less than normal due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this is precisely the time for the Lance Drury Law Firm to help you. Your consultation is free, so don't put it off. The Lance Drury Law Firm focuses solely on tax resolution law. It's all we do. And if you have IRS problems, you have legal problems. Let us use our tax law resolution experience to guide you and work on your custom resolution plan. Call now. It's free and confidential. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120 or go to Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Radio.com is now Odyssey. Download the Odyssey app to listen to 97.1 FM Talk and find content that moves you. The Odyssey app for 97.1 FM Talk on the go. KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group. 97.1 FM Talk. An Odyssey station.
Tehran taking a hardline stance. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. Iran's president-elect appears unwilling to deal with the U.S.
3 days after a landslide election victory, Iran's next president held a news conference. Ebrahim Raisi, a hardline former judge, was asked if he was ready to meet with President Biden and simply said no. And he insisted Iran's ballistic missiles and its support for militias overseas are non-negotiable. The president-elect is already under US sanctions for the mass execution of some 5,000 people 30 years ago. Questioned about that today, he described himself as a defender of human rights.
Fox's Simon Owen. President Biden's special envoy for North Korea says he hopes to see a positive reaction from Pyongyang soon on U.S. offers for talks after North Korean leader Kim Jong-un ordered officials to prepare for both dialogue and confrontation. Sung Kim, Biden's special representative for North Korea, is in Seoul speaking with South Korean and Japanese officials about the U.S.'s stalled diplomacy with the North over its nuclear program and U.S.-led sanctions. The Supreme Court today unanimously siding with a group of former college athletes over rules limiting certain compensation.
The High Court finding that NCAA limits on education-related benefits that colleges can offer athletes who play Division I basketball and football can't be enforced. Under those rules, student athletes cannot be paid with scholarship money capped at the cost of attending the school. The Supreme Court ruling comes as the NCAA's Division I Council is set to meet this week to discuss regulating so-called NIL rights to allow student athletes to capitalize on their name, image, and likeness.
Fox's Matt Napolitano, a former advisor to Jordan's King Abdullah II and a relative of the monarch, have pleaded guilty to sedition and incitement charges. They're accused of conspiring with the senior royal, who's a half-brother of the king, to foment unrest against the monarch. America's listening to Fox News.
This is a metaphor for your business's journey. Sometimes it feels like you're going 100 miles an hour, barely keeping up. But to cruise through challenges, you need someone who's right there with you. That's what Dell Technologies advisors do. They have the tech advice you need to get past whatever's in front of you and get to where you want to go. For advice on solutions like XPS 13 laptops powered by Intel Evo platform, call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL.
I'm giving Jeb's basement renovations 1 star. He kept asking me what's behind the walls down there. I'm like, why? What do you know?
No matter how hard you work for your small business, online reviewers will find something to complain about.
And then he's like, you can trust me with the job. And I'm all like, trust?
And while Progressive can't save you from these trolls, we can help you save money on commercial, auto, and business insurance.
Yeah, he charged me less than he said he would, which is lying.
Get a quote online today at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliated and third-party insurers.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Certainly easy to tell. We've had a cool front come through. The winds have turned to the north-northwest, and temperatures are a good 20 degrees cooler this afternoon. About 75 should do it for the high. A lot of clouds around. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Evening temperatures drop out of the 70s. And how about 54 and low humidity overnight tonight? Tuesday, sunny and nice. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Presented by Indeed. If you're hiring this summer, you need Indeed. With Indeed Instant Match, just post a sponsored job, and you'll immediately get a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed fit your job description. Learn more at Indeed.com/credit.
A reading from the Golden Oak Lending Book of Mortgage Lingo.
What is a no-charge appraisal? It's never asking for a credit card or charging for a home appraisal if we can't close your loan.
No risk on refinancing, but I live for danger.
I'm James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak Lending. Refinancing with Golden Oak is anything but risky business. And with our mortgage rates at a low 2.25%, you can save hundreds each month and skip your next 2 payments. And remember, our local lending experts speak mortgage and love translating for our customers. Removing risk from your next purchase or refi means you can find your thrills elsewhere.
Skydiving? No. Cliff jumping. Wait, hang gliding.
Aren't you afraid of heights?
Stop. You're embarrassing me.
Get started today with our simple zipline tool at goldenoaklending.com.
NMLS 114937, 2.25% fixed, 3.195% APR, FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit. 11737 Administration Drive, St. Louis, Missouri.
Spring is a great time to upgrade the energy efficiency in your home with new windows. Mark Cox here from my friends at Window World. I'm a satisfied customer. You will be too. Call them today for a free home estimate. They'll show you why they are simply the best for less. Window World windows are so durable. They stand behind their windows with a lifetime warranty that covers all parts and glass breakage and labor. They were ranked #1 in windows sold in the country by Qualified Remodeler magazine, and they're the preferred window of the St. Louis Blues. Window World does great work, as they did in my home when they replaced 2 large bathroom windows. They measured them, they built them, and got them installed in no time. You will love working with my friends over at Window World. They're now offering 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. Call them today at 314-993-1800, 993-1800, or windowworld.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You know those 30 under 30 lists that make you feel kind of inadequate and terrible?
We are not 25. We are fortunate enough to be 77.
This is going to be the opposite of that.
I'm 72 years old.
I am 83 years old.
I am 101 years old.
I'm Max Linsky, and this is 70 Over 70, a new show from Pineapple Street Studios about how we make the most of the time we have left. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Odyssey.com is a universe of audio, and it's where you can download the app to stream 97.1 FM Talk. The Odyssey app. Download it today and stream anytime from anywhere. 97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
You need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Indeed, it is the Annie Frey Show. It's John Hancock sitting in for Annie Frey on 97.1 FM Talk, and I'm really nervous now, Katie.
Uh-oh.
Apparently, Annie Frey is listening to the show. That's got me. She's having that photo shoot with baby Molly, and hoping that all goes well. You know, my kids, when they were of that age, they both look like Winston Churchill, and they without the cigar. And so I remember those days very fondly, and blessings to Annie and Molly, and I hope that photo shoot goes well with the listener. That was very cool. What a
very,
cool story.
very cool.
And folks, I guess we got this Facebook thing going on over here. That's new to me. And do we have the YouTube too?
Yes, we have
got the YouTube and we got the Facebook.
Well, we got the internet going on over here.
And the other thing we got going on, we take you live now to Busch Stadium in St. Louis, where none other than Ryan Wiggins is having an experience of a lifetime on the field, swinging the bat, swinging for the fences. Ryan Wiggins, what's going on over there, buddy?
You guys,
I was going to say it's a little unreal, but really it feels like the most natural thing in the world. It feels like, why haven't I been here my whole life doing this exact thing? Because I've done so well.
Really? Well, tell us.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
what's
Scott Terry's walking by. Scott Terry wants to say hi to St. Louis.
Hey.
How you doing?
Scott Terry, how are you, brother?
John Hancock says hello, Scott Terry. And Scott is nodding and so excited to be talking to none other than John Hancock. He can't believe it.
Yeah. People come from inches around just to talk to me. So what's
Hey,
happening?
Do you have any
out there?
Well, do you have any big league questions while I got Scott here?
Well, sure. Let's talk to Scott for a minute. I'd love to.
Okay. Come up with your best question on the fly since you didn't know this was happening.
No, I'm good.
And he'll
good.
come up with his best answer on the fly since he didn't know this was happening. He just happened to be walking by and I grabbed him.
All right, perfect.
Okay.
Hey, Scott.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Here you go.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Scott, how are you, brother? I have met you at the FCA banquet in the past, and it's good. Delighted to have you here on 97.1 FM Talk. Talk about how bullpen's usage has changed since your time in the big league. You used to have closers that would go 2 innings, and you don't see that so much anymore. And now this new 3-batter rule, which I think is a dog. But bullpen usage has changed dramatically.
Big time. Actually, the whole pitching staff has changed other than the starters. So you're talking about spot starters, long men. They carry 13 pitchers now. We only carried 9 or 10. So we had 5 starters. We only had 4 or 5 guys in the bullpen. So it was nothing if you pitched 2 or 3 days in a row. And it was also something if you pitched 2 or 3 innings. So the idea of the 3-batter rule is so that they can't make as many pitching changes, when the reality is they could change the aspect of the game just simply by only allowing them to carry 10 pitchers on their roster. If they did that, then guys would have to go 2 or 3 innings. Guys would have to pitch 2 or 3 days in a row. But this is specialization. We know how technology has changed so many things in life, and it has changed baseball. And with all the things that they now have everybody doing special things. So it's a level of specialization. Whereas I know my last year before I retired, I pitched in 18 out of 23 games, and to think that would ever happen these days would never happen.
No, that would never happen. I loved watching you come in, man. You're a bulldog when you'd come into those games, and you just mow them down. You threw strikes. You don't see as much of the strike throwing, and guys try to be too fine. What's your take on the foreign substance debate going on in baseball right now? This isn't something that's new, that was just discovered, but baseball's cracking down on it.
Well, you know what's new, John, is the fact that they now have the technology to see what changes when you're using something of a substance. So back then, we didn't have spin ratios. We didn't have those ideas and the technology of knowing how that changes. So now all of a sudden, here's a guy throwing 90, 91, and then all of a sudden he jumps up to 94 or 95 because now he gets a better grip on the ball. He's hanging onto the ball a little bit longer. He's coming off the laces. It's almost like pulling down on a handle instead of pulling down on something that's a slick object. So it's a definite advantage to the pitcher, and obviously, anytime somebody gains an advantage by using something that is not legal, then the league needs to address it.
What do you think the spin rate was on a Gaylord Perry curveball back in the day?
or how about a Gaylord Perry spitball?
Yeah, right.
Which actually took the spin away. That's why he uses the lubrication. He didn't want it to spin as much. So obviously when hitters are seeing balls do things that they don't normally do, and when managers are seeing guys with extra velocity, then it kind of gives you an idea that something different is going on, and so now they're going to try to get a hold of it.
So what are you doing with yourself these days? I know you do the fantasy camp. I know you do a lot of teaching.
We do fantasy camps. We do kids clinics. We have 12 of those in the area. I think we've already done 4 or 5. Today we're out here at the stadium doing a corporate event. KMOX is one of our sponsors for the season, so they get 2 hours on the field. So we come out, and we've got Brian Jordan here. We've got Kyle McClellan, and we're throwing them batting practice. So they're pretending to be big leaguers.
And Ryan Wiggins.
Well, you tell McClellan I said hello. And
I will. As a matter of fact, I got to go out and throw for him because he just got finished. So I'm going to let you have your guy back.
All right. Great talking to you, Scott.
Okay.
You never thought you would be
How
in
cool was
this,
that?
did
That
ya?
was very cool.
That was great.
You just got a free interview.
Yeah, that was well done, Wiggins. Let me make sure that bonus is in the paycheck this month. So now,
yeah, I hope our boss is listening.
Yeah, he never listens when I'm on. So, so here's the thing. Now, have you batted yet?
Yeah, I did.
And
okay, here's what happened. It took me a couple pitches to get warmed up, but then once I did, I would say I popped one really hard. I got it all the way out of the infield, which was a huge deal. And I watched it. You know, it was kind of a looping little probably bloop single, I would call it.
Did you flip the bat?
I apparently now Kyle McClellan is not a fan of when you watch your ball. And so he told us that ahead of time. He said, if I catch you watching, you're going to get one on the chin. And I did. He threw two at me after I watched that ball. And one of them went right in front of me and he scared me. And then the next one, he threw it like really, really hard at me. And I was able to avoid it. But after that, I was a little concerned. I lost my competitive edge knowing that Kyle McClellan was all of a sudden able to throw it much harder and at me.
You might want to revisit that homeowner's insurance policy you've got there. I think it would cover something like this.
Hey, if you got a sponsor you need to plug, go ahead. That was a great segue.
No, that's it. So, okay. So you got now, are they scrimmaging or is it just kind of like a batting practice kind of experience?
Yeah. So I guess because it rained last night, we're just doing batting practice and we're in the outfield, but we can't do like a full game. The ground crew is like really, really particular about everything, and they watch you and they yell at you.
So how's your defense out there?
I haven't. My team, my squad is now in the outfield, and they're looking at me like, "What are you gonna just walk around on the phone? Like you're not participating."
Well, you need to explain. You need to explain to people who you are, buddy. Mm-hmm. You're important.
Oh, I have been all day, and they keep saying, "You know who you look like?" Because like the staff here and everybody, they keep thinking. Apparently, I look a lot like Paul DeYoung.
Oh,
and they keep saying, Mr. DeYoung, Mr. DeYoung, and I keep saying, well, do I look like Paul DeYoung? I'm assuming from the neck down is what they're talking about.
Well, you ought to start signing autographs, man. You could probably.
I've signed a couple babies. I walked into the locker room and they just, they step aside when you're Paul DeYoung, and I opened his locker. There's no big deal. Yes, perks of the lookalike thing and being here. And I found almost no HGH in that locker, but I did find an interesting like a fireman calendar in there, and I was surprised to see that.
Huh? Have you been back to the weight room? Have you pumping some iron there?
No. And I hope Paul DeYoung is not listening. I'll get in trouble.
Well, if he's like the boss, he's not listening. So
he's not listening because John Hancock's filling in.
So I'm down in spring training in 2019, and we were doing some radio down there during spring training. And so the little key, this was 2019. The keypad to get in the room where the broadcast booth was 2019. They're very secure.
Oh.
And so anyway, I've got a terrible sense of direction. So the second day I show up and I come to what I thought was the door to the studio, and I punch in 2019, click, the door opens up, and I walk into the weight room. And all these players, Cardinal players, are all pumping iron. I look at who the heck is that guy? So be careful where you walk there. And the passcode is probably going to be 2021.
Well, I'll try it. I've been walking around, like you said, I've been walking around telling people who I am, and they don't seem to care. And when I say I'm Ryan Wiggins from 97.1, they say okay, and I say we're next door to KMOX. Like, okay. No, actually, I think there's quite a few fans out here because I am the only broadcaster that's out here today. And when they said, Ryan's talking on the air here at about 2:00, everybody was, some people were talking to me about 97.1. It's funny. I mean, I'm not trying to do a promo here, but since we're talking about it, it's funny how like we have a promo running right now that talks about 97.1 being the worst kept secret in St. Louis, and it kind of is because like when you're out here talking to people, everybody says it's like they don't want to say it publicly, but they'll walk, oh, you're on 97. I listen to that all the time, So it's kind of fun.
Well, enjoy yourself out there. What a great day this is. Has the defibrillator been employed yet this afternoon?
Not yet, but man, I'll tell you what, I'm already feeling it just from, taking swings. You get tired fast, and I'm about to go run out in the outfield. So that'll be a different set of muscles, but it's a lot of fun. So I'm glad I got to do it. It's kind of a once in a lifetime thing. And, it just reminds you how fun baseball is.
Well, buddy, looking at you this morning, let me tell you to be careful and keep lots of hydrated water going on, and don't tax the muscle too much. We don't want you coming back tomorrow with an injury.
Well, I'll just sit down and you guys can, feed me through a straw tomorrow.
The baseball star, Ryan Wiggins, he calls us live from Busch Stadium. He's got an RBI single on the day. He's headed out to the outfield. St. Louis Cardinal baseball right here on 97.1 FM Talk. Hey, when we come back, Rick Stream, the co-director of the St. Louis County Board of Elections. We're going to talk about ballot security, a very timely topic, and that's next on the Annie Frey Show.
Left you on my own, so
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
I'm not feeling too good myself.
Something extraordinary is happening right now at Diamonds Direct. You can make any purchase, pay nothing down, and get zero interest financing for 5 whole years. Imagine a $7,000 designer ring or diamond bracelet for less than $120 a month. Zero down, zero interest for 5 years on anything. You can't miss this limited time offer. You can finance the entire purchase price, including the tax, on approved credit. Get details now at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, healthcare, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Whenever I bring home Entenmann's Little Bites muffins.
Little Bites?
That's right, sweetie. Can you just give Mommy a minute?
I love Little Bites.
I know you do, but we're doing a commercial right now, okay?
Got it.
As I was saying, whenever I bring home you-know-what, you-know-who gets pretty excited. And so do I. Little Bites muffins are made with real ingredients, no high-fructose corn syrup, and are baked moist and delicious.
I love Little Bites.
Here you go.
Yes.
Entenmann's Little Bites muffins. The perfect portion of happiness.
Hi, it's Michael Mohan with Community Mortgage. Interest rates are still at historic lows. If you have not taken advantage of today's low rates, what are you waiting for? Whether your goal this year is to refinance to a shorter term, cash out to pay off debt, or maybe remodel your home, maybe purchase your first or even your 5th home, our low rates will save you money. I'm here in St. Louis and want to put my local market experience to work for you. Whether purchasing or refinancing, my goal is to help you save money on your home loan. And when you call, don't be surprised when I answer the phone. Call me today, Michael Mohan, 314-336-6050, 314-336-6050, 314-336-6050, or online at communitymortgagestl.com.
Community Mortgage LLC, 224-143, NMLS 250353.
Race fans, I'm IndyCar driver Ed Jones. Accidents happen. Make your car like new again and call Bommarito. We repair every make and model and use only factory certified parts. We'll take care of your insurance claim, any courtesy car needs, and the repairs are fully guaranteed. A better experience, a better price. The automotive leader, Bommarito, Missouri's #1 automotive group. Open 24/7 at bommarito.com. And I'll see you at the track.
If it's bumper to bumper or smooth sailing, Sue Thomas has you covered with dependable traffic. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company, the best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor.
That's good stuff. Hey, it's John Hancock in for Annie Frey on the Annie Frey Show, 97.1 FM Talk, and so much talk about elections and ballot integrity and election reform legislation across the country and in Washington, D.C. And I thought, let's get an expert on to talk about it. And do we just happen to have such an expert? My old friend Rick Stream. He is the Republican Director of Elections in St. Louis County. He has a counterpart who is a Democrat Director of Elections. Rick, how are you, brother?
I'm doing fine, John. Thanks for having me on.
Delighted to have you on. So there's debate in Washington right now about this election reform bill that the Democrats have put forward. Republicans don't like it because it nationalizes elections. What does that mean?
Well, basically, the way the system works in America today is that every state runs their own elections. They pass their own laws to run the elections in their particular state. And we do that in Missouri. We have Section 115 of the revised Missouri statutes, which is the Bible for us who run elections here in Missouri. And it lays out all the rules and regulations for just how to do that, how to run elections, from everything from the election dates to absentee balloting to how the polling places should run, the types of things like that. So every state does that separately. It's the federal system, not federalized, but federal system, so that every state runs their own elections. And I think that's the best way to go. Even my Democrat counterpart, Eric Frey, says that those two bills up in Washington are really bad. He would never, go along with those bills. So I think we have a good system in Missouri. I think people were very happy with certainly the results of how things ran in St. Louis County last year with 4 countywide elections in the middle of a pandemic. We had virtually no complaints, but a lot of work, and it was difficult. But we have a great team here at the election board, and that made it was very evident that we were able to run the elections without a hitch.
There's been a lot of concern expressed over mail-in voting, and Missouri expanded because of COVID. They expanded the ability to vote absentee in 2020, and you all had record numbers of mail-in ballots. How did that process work, and how do you verify from a ballot in the mail that it's actually the ballot that belongs to that voter?
Sure, that's very good questions. We did have about 5 times as many people vote absentee by mail in the last 3 elections of last year, the April, which was moved to June, and the August, and then November. So we had a lot of paper ballots that were coming in. The people had to request an absentee ballot or a mail-in ballot, which was the additional thing that the legislature passed. Again, the legislatures are responsible for changing election law in the states. And in Missouri, our legislature made a couple of slight changes, added the COVID block, and had the mail-in ballot. But in every case, it has to be requested by the voter. A voter has to request an absentee ballot either in person, in writing, or by email or fax. That's just to get the application, okay? Then the application comes in, we check the names to make sure they're in the voter registration system, we check the signatures, and if it all matches, then they are sent a ballot. And the ballot goes to is mailed to the voter. The voter has to fill out the ballot and put it in the envelope, and the envelope is the key then. The envelope that the ballot comes back in is the key. It has to have their signature on it. It has to have the reason why they're voting absentee or mail-in. And it has to have the date on there too. So if it doesn't have any of those things, it doesn't count when it gets back here. It has to be back by 7 p.m. on election night. The signature, we check the signatures when they come in. And everything is done in our office on a bipartisan nature. We have a Democrat and a Republican sitting side by side for every step of the election process, and they check the signatures and things like that. When the ballots come in, they go into our ballot room, which is one of the 3 areas in our office where you have to have a Republican and a Democrat go into the room at the same time, not one at a time. We go to our ballot room. They're stored until 5 days before the election, and then we have bipartisan teams open the envelopes, pull out the ballots. They're in groups of 100, and then in that 5-day period, then the ballots are scanned into our scanner, which actually tabulates the results, but the results are not known by anybody until 7 p.m. on election night, and then we begin to do the tabulation. And that's why we were able to, at 7:30 on election night, report out 160,000 absentee ballot votes on election night in November.
Yeah,
it's a very secure process, John.
It is a very secure process, and I think most jurisdictions across the country have a process similar to that. Right. One of the problems we had in Pennsylvania was that the legislature there passed a bill that none of those envelopes could even be opened until the polls were closed. Therefore, they didn't have that kind of pre-process that you had in St. Louis County, where you could report out the results at 7:30 in the evening. And in Pennsylvania, those results took days to get there. Right. And that's a real problem in the process.
Yeah, again, every state does it differently. And in Missouri, they do have a provision in there that the ballots, they say ballots, but it's really the envelopes, can be prepared 5 days prior to it. And most counties in Missouri, which are run by election county clerks, and one of their duties is elections, they don't really open theirs more than a day or so in advance. We have so many absentee ballots, even in a normal election like right now. We're going to probably have about 20,000 absentee ballots for this August election, that we do need the extra time to open the ballots, the envelopes, and prepare the ballots. So, but yeah, you're right. In Pennsylvania and other states, for some reason, they wanted to wait. I think that's foolish. As long as you have a very secure process in place, and again, in our case, in Missouri's case, it's a bipartisan team of people that oversees the entire process. So we feel like, as I mentioned, the ballot room is a bipartisan team, has to get in there, the tabulation room, and where all of our equipment is stored in our warehouse, it has a chain link fence from the floor to the ceiling. You can't get in unless you have a Republican and a Democrat, and just certain Republicans and Democrats, the leadership basically, that can get in at the same time. So it's a very secure process here in St. Louis County. We welcome anybody to come up and take a tour through our facility. They can see how secure it is.
Rick Stream is our guest. He's the co-director of elections in St. Louis County. He joins us on 97.1 on the Annie Frey Show. There was so much controversy coming out of the last, elections are a balance between access to the ballot for everybody that's eligible and securing the integrity of the system. And so all of the laws and regulations that exist are designed to balance that, to make it easier to vote and harder to cheat. When you look at what's been proposed in Congress, does it strike that balance?
Well, personally, I don't think it does. I think it makes it way too easy for security not to be one of the major factors there. And there's so many provisions of that bill that are those two bills, H.R. 1 and S1, that are really contrary to how we operate in Missouri. They're talking about eliminating, they're talking about mailing ballots to people, ballot harvesting, just things that are just contrary to how we do things in Missouri. For instance, we had a record turnout in November here in St. Louis County, 79.5%. But John, there were still 200,000 people in St. Louis County that did not vote in the presidential election. Imagine if we had sent every one of those people a ballot. I mean, I just don't think that's right. If people want to vote, we make it very easy for people to vote in St. Louis County. As you probably know, we've got a system in place now in St. Louis County where you can vote anywhere in the county, at any polling place. So there's really no excuse why people can't vote on election day, or in obviously cases where they can vote absentee by, legally. So it's easy to vote here in St. Louis County. We register people on a daily basis. There's probably close to 1,000 changes in registrations every week in St. Louis County, even now when there's not a major election going on, because people change their address, people are moving in and moving out of the St. Louis County area. We process all that here in the office, and we answer questions so that people, and we mail everybody a notice of election card who's a registered voter in St. Louis County before the election. So, and give them not only their polling place that they can go to, but the 5 closest polling places. So I think we make it very easy to register and to vote in St. Louis County, but we still have all of the procedures in place to verify that that's who that person is who cast the ballot. You have to be registered in our system. If you show up and you're not registered, you're not going to vote, period. If you're registered but you don't have an identification, you're going to vote, but it's going to be provisionally, which means your ballot is separate from the ones that are put in the box at the polling place on election night. We check out your information, and about half of our provisional voters do not qualify to have their ballots cast.
Yeah,
So
you guys have made it this thing where you can go to any polling place now. I was just speaking from personal experience, has been a godsend, and it's so much flexibility built in there. That's a great example of making it easier to vote and harder to cheat. And that's exactly the kind of policy that needs to drive this thing. You mentioned something earlier before we let you go. Rick Stream is our guest. He's the co-director of elections in St. Louis County. You mentioned a term that our listeners may or may not be familiar with. It's ballot harvesting. That is something that is patently illegal in the state of Missouri. The Democrat bill in Washington would make it allowable nationwide. What is ballot harvesting, and why is it a concern?
It's a good question. First of all, it requires that everybody be mailed a ballot, all right, which we don't do in Missouri at all, okay? But according to federal law, we would be required to, although I'm sure our state would file suit against it. But it's in states where everybody is mailed a ballot, like California. Ballots are mailed out, and there is a time period after Election Day where people can go and collect those ballots and bring them into the election board office. Well, see that, and therefore you don't know who filled out the ballot. You don't know if there's any signature verification. You don't know anything about that ballot. And I just think that's a recipe for fraud. I just don't think it's right that ballots could just be turned in after Election Day. In Missouri, you have to have the ballot in our hands by 7 p.m. on election night, except for military and overseas, which are allowed to come in by Friday of election week. But we have to have the ballots, and we've had ballots come in at 7:05 by UPS or somewhere, and they don't count. They don't count. Now, we make every effort to make sure that the ballots that were mailed by people that are in the post office get to us. We have people downtown, a bipartisan team downtown, and one in St. Ann post office. And if the ballots are there at 7 p.m., we bring them in and we count them. But if they're not there and they come in the next day, they do not count. So ballot harvesting, to me, and it's up to 2 weeks, I think, in California, where people can turn in ballots.
Crazy.
It's just ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. I lied. I'm going to ask you one more question while we got you.
Okay.
So there's this controversy out there that foreign entities can hack into our elections result and change the results.
Yeah.
Why is that not possible in places like St. Louis County?
Well, first of all, none of our equipment is online. None of it. We standalone equipment at the polling places. Here in our office where we tabulate the votes on election night, that is not connected to the internet at all. So that is a key factor right there that people don't realize. In Missouri, the only system that's online is our voter registration system. But the voting equipment in St. Louis County, and I'm pretty sure all over the state, none of our old equipment, we bought new equipment in 2019. None of our old equipment was online. None of this equipment's online. And I'm not a technology guy, but I know that, and here's the other thing, John, we check every piece of equipment that goes out on for election day. We do a logic and accuracy test before it goes out, and we check it when it comes back to make sure it still prints out and we do a known test. It prints out the results that we want in this test. So we feel 100% sure that our equipment operates properly on election day, and our tabulation equipment is doing the right job, and the results are accurate. The other thing, John, we have paper ballots that we can count. We were required by state law to do a 5% audit on all of our precincts. So we do that, and we want it to match exactly what was reported in our thumb drives that came back from our machines. So none of that stuff can be altered. Our thumb drives are encrypted. They won't even fit in another machine. So we've taken a lot of precautions, and frankly, a lot of this equipment has to pass all of these very stringent security tests so that stuff like this can't happen. But I'm not saying something didn't happen because I just don't know. I do know this. In St. Louis County, I will bet my mortgage that our results are accurate every time. We had a couple of recounts here at the end of this past election in April. The people came in, we did the recounts right in front of them. They were very, very happy.
Well, I've been to that house of yours. If you're putting the mortgage on the line, that's saying something, partner.
Well, I am very, very confident that we do a very secure job of protecting the integrity of the vote in St. Louis County.
So appreciate your time and very informative, very educational. Folks, you can trust the integrity of the elections that are taking place in our town. And Rick Stream has been our guest. He's the co-director of the St. Louis County Board of Elections. Thanks so much for your time, Rick.
Thanks, John. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Well, as fun as this all is it the best job I've ever had? And got to know a little bit. I'm getting to know even better the lovely and talented Katie Fitzpatrick. We got to chat a little bit before the show. What's the best job you've ever had? 241-9797 if you want to get in on the talk. It's the Annie Frey Show. I'm John Hancock. We'll be back after this.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. In addition to heating and cooling, Air Comfort Service also offers indoor air quality water heater and AeroSeal duct seal services. Get in your comfort zone with aircomfortservice.com.
This past year has been difficult for so many Americans. The uncertainty of the economy lingers under this new administration, especially with all the spending and job cuts. We know that people are interested more than ever in securing their nest egg for their retirement. I'm Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group, and for 35 years, we've been helping retirees and pre-retirees understand their options when they leave a job or retire. We'll teach you how to secure your nest egg and provide an income that will last through your retirement and still leave a legacy for your heirs. Call me now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. We'll design your own personalized, structured income plan so you know exactly how much income you can count on and also how long your money will last. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of my second edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. This book covers everything I teach in my live educational events. Call me now at 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com.
You spend more time with electronic media than you do sleeping. Think about it.
I think the most important media literacy question is who's the sender?
Let's be active and not passive when consuming and creating media. I'm Megan Lynch. Check out my podcast, What the Media, where I examine what you hear, read, and see, and why, and how, and who. Listen to the podcast, What the Media, available on Apple, Google, and Stitcher. Search for What the Media wherever you get your podcasts.
It's time to get back together. Back to group hugs and group hangs. Dining in with family and going out with friends. But to get back to the things we love safely, we need to get vaccinated. COVID-19 vaccines are free and proven effective. But if you still have questions, that's okay. It's your choice. Go to mostopscovid.com or call 877-435-8411 to get answers and find a vaccine near you. Because we're stronger together.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon from my friends at Zero Res. Welcome to June. That is the official start of summer. Now raise your hand if it means you have a list you have to tackle this summer. The good news is you're not alone, and nobody knows that better than my cleaning heroes at Zero Res. Summer is probably the best time to call Zero Res to get all the nasty dirt, dander, and grime out of your home. This is kind of nasty. Speaking of nasty, did you know that the average home takes in over 40 pounds of dust and dirt a year? So your carpet is the biggest air filter in your home, so it needs some summer loving to keep it fresh and clean. This month's Mark Reardon 97.1 special, 3 rooms of carpet cleaned and sanitized, starting at just $129. This will be the easiest chore on your to-do list this summer because Zero Res does all the work. Don't forget about those air ducts. This month, get $50 off your air duct cleaning. The certified team at Zero Res is going to use their negative air 12-step cleaning process to extract all the crud out of the ducts. Call today. Book an appointment, 474-2020. Make sure you mention my name. Online, ZeroResSTL.com. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res.
Hi, this is Tracy, president of Acropolis Technology Group. I want to start by recognizing our team's exceptional hard work during this pandemic, and apparently our clients recognize it as well. We were just honored by not winning 1 Best in Business award, but 4 Best in Business awards. We won Best IT Firm, Best in Cybersecurity, Best in Customer Service, and Best in Value. These 4 awards are a culmination of our team's hard work every single day, all done during the most challenging year we've had in our 24-year history. What these 4 awards tell me is that we are recognized for being experts at our craft. We do it in a friendly way, and our clients see value from partnering with us. I can't think of 4 better awards that summarize what it is we do for our clients each and every week. Acropolis has been helping some of the region's best companies protect, optimize, and grow their businesses now for many years. We have done it for them, and we can help you too. To find out more, give us a call or visit us at acropolistech.com. That's Acropolis, TECH.com. Acropolis, it's a better way to manage IT.
Weekdays from 6 to 7, catch the Dave Glover Show on 97.1. It's the best of each day, boiled down to 1 hour. The DGS Highlight Hour. Every weekday at 6 on 97.1 FM Talk.
I was toting my pack along the dusty Winnemucca Road when along came a semi with a high and canvas covered load. If you're going to Winnemucca Mac with me, you can ride. And so I climbed into the cab and then I settled down inside.
Now there's a guy that's been everywhere.
He asked me if I'd
Johnny
seen a
Cash.
road with
You gotta
so
love
much
that.
grass and
I'm a big music fan, and Katie has done a magnificent job picking out that bumper music today. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, no, thank you.
So we were talking before the show. Other than this, of course, which is the best job anyone's ever had. What's the best job you've ever had?
I had 16 all throughout college. I worked in the dietary section of a hospital, St. Joe's Hospital in St. Charles.
Dietary
I was
section.
dietary, yep. I was handing out the trays and making sure and cutting up the food and making sure everything was good for the people that were staying at the hospital. And I love
I'm
that
about
job.
4 years away from needing that myself.
You can hire me.
I'll
do it. And it was an amazing job. I met fantastic friends. They really made working easy and fun. And you know, I've realized that maybe the job itself might be difficult or you might not like it, but it's the people that you surround yourself with as you are working that really make or break your environment and your mindset. And I just was so blessed.
Well, you know, that's a special, you've got to have a special gift to work in that kind of environment because people in the hospital are not having their best day.
Right.
And some of them are having their worst day and you're interacting with them. And I'm sure that if they're representative of the public at large, you're going to have some jerks out there.
Yes.
And they're not going to like the Jello. Why are you giving me orange Jello? I don't like orange Jello. So
they didn't. Some of them don't even want you to go in the room.
Yeah.
They're like, just please leave the tray out on the doorstep. I don't want to see you. I don't want to have to interact with you. So it was a really, and 16 first job. It's you go in there and you're scared. You're terrified. You'd never worked before.
So were you thinking you might go into nursing or medical or?
I had a friend who hooked me up. Actually, I get very queasy thinking about the human body.
Oh yeah.
It's not my thing. And
blood. I can't take it. I can't take it.
I just everything.
Yeah.
It just
right.
And I had a friend who worked there 2 years previous to me. And she kind of gave me a heads up and, you know, told me that the dietary office and space was looking for more people to tray pass. And luckily enough, I got to do it. And I'm still best friends with a handful of the ladies that I got to experience that with to this day.
Yeah. Handing the food out would be good. The bedpans, all of that stuff, not so much. Yeah. So when I was a kid, I was in the Boy Scouts and you had to get the first aid merit badge. And so, you know, you learn how to do a tourniquet and you learn how to do a splint in the field if you need that and how to stop bleeding. And I am I cannot handle. I don't like needles. I got vaccinated, but it wasn't. I mean, I didn't faint, but I'm not good.
But you're this close.
So I've got the first aid merit badge, Katie. I've also got the life-saving merit badge. And I'm at home after school one day. I'm probably a junior in high school. I'm downstairs. I'm probably watching the ball game, and my mother, this blood-curdling scream from upstairs. She's preparing dinner, and she says, "I've cut myself. I've cut myself." I go up there. And sure enough, she's cut herself, and it's not good. And so I got the first aid merit badge. I got the life-saving merit badge. You know what I did? I fainted.
I fell over.
and then, but I recovered quickly, and I ran to the closet. I grabbed a Band-Aid. And I backed up towards her so that I didn't have to look at anything. And I handed her the Band-Aid, and that was my first aid skill at work right there.
You know what? At least you had the Band-Aid handy.
Oh, I knew where it was.
You got the Band-Aid.
I knew where the Band-Aid was.
It's very important.
I even opened the little package, which is not easy to do if you've ever, especially if you're bleeding. You got the Band-Aid thing there.
I didn't realize. I don't know much about Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts.
Yeah.
I did not realize that you got badges to learn something like that.
Oh,
that's
CPR.
really heavy.
I learned in the Boy Scouts. I would have learned how to swim in the Boy Scouts, except I can't swim and I'm afraid of the water. But that's another story for another day. My best job ever, from the same age 16 through college, 7 summers at Six Flags.
Very cool.
Playing the piano, and it was the best job ever. So they let me grow a beard because I convinced him it was part of the costume. I had my little vest on with the rhinestones, my little derby hat, and I would show up at the St. Louis train station and just sit down and play the piano 6 hours a day, 6 days a week.
Oh gosh.
And then I would take breaks in those days. They had all kinds of on the park entertainment. They had the barbershop quartet strolling around. They had Doodles the clown, the 300-pound clown on a little tricycle. That guy was something.
Wow.
You talk about talent.
Yeah.
To drive that tricycle like that was unbelievable. And he was a phenomenal chess player, Doodles. So we would take our breaks, and head back up there and get the chessboard out, and he'd take his nose off and I'd take my head off, and we'd duel at each other playing chess. But that was a great, 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 great job. The worst job I ever had also involved a clown.
Uh-oh.
So I had run for Secretary of State. This would have been 1992, and I lost. The voters and I have never gotten along so well, and so I needed a job. So there was a PR job available at an ad agency in town, and it was working the McDonald's account. So they hired me, and among the PR duties I had, I was the boss of Ronald McDonald.
What?
Yes. Now, Ronald made more money than I did. He had a 401k, and this being Ronald McDonald's a good gig.
Okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I had to schedule Ronald, and I was his supervisor. And so we had him at the VP Fair Parade. I don't know. You remember the VP Fair parades? Yeah, it's before your time. The listeners out there may remember. And it was a big parade, 4th of July. So we got Ronald scheduled at the VP Fair Parade, and, it's all good. So I'm sitting at my desk, and this was before cell phones. So the call comes in, and I answer the phone. And when Ronald is in costume, he has to be Ronald. He can't be, himself.
Yes. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So I pick up the phone.
Playing the part.
John Hancock. John, this is Ronald. I said, "Hey, Ronald, how you doing?" "I'm not good at all." And I said, what's the matter? He said, "You did not get me a parking spot." I said, "Oh, God, I didn't get you a parking spot. I had to park 1.5 miles away from my spot in the parade. Do you know how hard it is to walk in these yellow shoes?" And I'm thinking, oh, man, I'm on the wrong side of Ronald McDonald. I'm going to get fired. This clown's going to get me fired. And so that was horrible. Ronald and I, it was not a good experience. I spent 1 year on that job. It's the only year of my life that I've worked for somebody other than myself.
Can you believe? Ronald McDonald, that time is gone too. You don't really see anyone that has the hair.
Oh no, he's still around.
Really?
Yeah, and it may be the same guy from 30 years ago. That's a good gig when you get to be Ronald.
Heck yeah,
you're Ronald. So we sent him out once to promote the McGrilled chicken. We were rolling out the McGrilled chicken sandwich, and so we sent him on a radio tour which, how stupid is that to send a clown on a radio because nobody can see him. Anyway, so he was on, we had him on all the stations, and we had him on Magic 105. So the morning host on Magic 105 at the time was a guy named Don Clark, who had been a local television news anchor in town. And so I get this another call, John Hancock, and it was Don Clark. He says, "Oh, Mr. Hancock, this is Don Clark." I said, "Oh, from Magic 105. That's right."
Yeah.
I said, "Well, thanks so much. You had Ronald on today. Really appreciate it." He said, "Ronald McDonald hit my car." I was like, "What?" "Ronald McDonald ran into my car when he was leaving the parking lot."
Oh, God.
And I said, now, Mr. Clark, first of all, Ronald is not allowed to drive Ronald's got a van. It's the Ronald van. It's all painted. It's very fancy because he can change in there. And,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So,
kind of like a dressing room.
Yeah, right. It's very nice. Costs a lot of money. So I said, "Mr. Clark, Ronald's not allowed to drive the van when he's in costume." He said, "I saw his yellow gloves on the steering wheel."
It was him. It was him.
He took out my side view mirror on my car. And I said, so I called Ronald. I said, "Hey, Ronald, did you hit a car over at Magic?" Silence. "Ronald?" "No." I said, "Are you sure you didn't hit a car?" "No." I said, "Ronald, were you driving the van in costume today?" Silence. "No."
Oh my God.
So I caught him yellow-handed. And so at least I didn't get fired for no parking spot because Ronald screwed up and ran into Don Clark's car, which we paid for to repair very quietly, didn't submit it to insurance. We took care of the problem.
Discreet.
And very discreet. That's how I roll, Katie.
That was the worst. But Six Flags, gosh.
Great
what
job.
What a cool
Great
thing
job.
to be at.
It was a great job. My piano is still out there. They tell me.
Really?
Yeah, all these years later.
What was one of your favorite days quickly?
The day that Ozzie Smith and his son stood there and listened to me play for like 20 minutes.
Oh,
and it was just the three of us in the train station at the time.
Can't beat it.
It was that was pretty cool. Well, let me just say to all of you and to you, Katie, I have thoroughly enjoyed day number 1 in this little experiment.
It's been great.
Annie, I'm nervous filling in for Annie Frey. She does such a great job. She's such a pro, and I'm so happy for her and baby Molly. They got their pictures today. I'm sure those will get posted in due course. We'll be back here tomorrow for 3 more rocking hours. Stick around. Mark Reardon is going to occupy this space. He is a dandy. It's John Hancock sitting in for Annie Frey, Katie Fitzpatrick, Ryan Slugger Wiggins is going to be back tomorrow. We'll see you then right here on 97.1 FM Talk, the Annie Frey Show.
So beat the drum with me.
Hi, this is Lance Murray. If you have payroll tax problems, you have serious legal problems, you need an